Team is running. As a quick little recap of where we left off, uh, this motley crew had made their way off the Otobenis, the prison ship heading for Blackpost, successfully and surviving, even as maybe the other prisoners didn't. In exchange, you all accepted an offer from the firm, specifically the sort of disembodied voice of one known as Oversight, your new manager going forward. Oversight walked you through a little bit of onboarding, a little bit of your sign-on experiences and bonuses, but brought you over to your new home, the Hearth Station outside of the planet Nyx, and the station is known as Yokai Flux. Seems to carry a Luxaean name, even though it's located way out here between Hegemony and Verdant Pact space. So this territory is neutral, and it seems like the planet it kind of hovers around is mostly ruled by a handful of space corporations. But you all, sitting on this Hearth Station, realize you're in a little bit of a different atmosphere. A seedy spot with mostly other mercenaries, contractors, and whoever's kind of walking a similar path of profession. All stay here, and the kind of manager, and bartender as well, is a cybernetically enhanced individual, kind of half machine, half human, known as Riff. Seems to be gruff, not too much of a talker, but gave you guys a quick rundown and gave your keys to your very own fine establishment, a simple little motel-style room down here with double bunk beds and at least one bathroom. So, kind of making do with what you've got. Elsewhere in the station, you saw that there was some arms dealers, shady vendors and armorers, and even a Cabal operative who you've not quite spoken with, but you're aware is here. Even meeting a few other contractors, but that was all just a little bit of downtime. Real job you had in mind was to finish your background check. And while other places might be checking your background for you, the firm operates a little differently. Their background check involves deleting your criminal record, not acquiring it. The only hiccup, though, is that you all were part, due to your booking and your kind of path to getting arrested, ended up having your files caught up in a little bit of manual backups, specifically paper records created on one of the BLO, Bureau of Law and Order stations, all the way in the planet of Bastion, which you had all kind of passed through at some point during your processing. So you were left sort of with the first job, official job from the firm, to complete your background check. Arrive at the planet Bastion, infiltrate the BLO office, and retrieve your criminal records. But upon your arrival, you guys had something happen along the way. You were accosted by pirates while traveling on your heavily damaged, barely functioning starship by a very seemingly dangerous pirate ship, only to find yourselves not being raided and boarded, and instead being let go scot-free. Seemingly, this pirate had a friendly relationship with one Merit. And so thanks to the kind of quick talking and recognition from your ally, you were let off happily to not deal with the enormous blaster cannon that the ship kind of had mounted on one side. And this pirate Merit that you know as Beacon kind of gave you just a couple questions and seeming interest in where you're stationed out of. You continued on to Bastion, made your way down to Planetside, snuck into the office, and trying to retrieve your records and also take care of Task 2. Something that was given to you last minute by Oversight, your manager, was that another firm operative, known as Giannis the Hyena, as his title, was imprisoned. So figure out why he was imprisoned and what's going on, and handle it accordingly. That you did partly. You guys discovered that Giannis here was not necessarily a prisoner of pure accident, and seemingly had struck a deal with the BLO office. The only question is, what kind of deal? What was given in exchange? And also, how the hell are you going to kill this contractor on the other side of this metal wall a dagger in his hand, the same dagger which he had plunged into one Val not so long ago. So that's where we find ourselves now. Is Val, you are standing in front of the doorway that you believe leads to the records room, trying to figure out how to get past the higher level security. Meanwhile, I think on the other side, we had... I think you kind of switched places, right? Because I think Fallon and Merritt were in the holding cell room trying to figure out how to deal with Giannis, who was not very injured, but was kind of stuck behind the door, trying to call for the BLO officers, trying to get their attention.
It was me and Saskia that were in the holding cell.
Got it. You and Saskia were in the holding cell, and I think... Okay, so then Fallon, I think, was still outside. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and move some character tokens over, just to make sure. And I think Merritt, I'll go ahead and pull you on over here.
Small.
And let me know if you guys can move your character tokens around before I continue. Just want to make sure it's not bugging out.
I cannot.
Okay. I had a feeling. If you don't mind, Alice, can you try moving Merritt over here onto the screen? I want to see if maybe it's because I did it. Sometimes it's a little weird.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now I can.
Perfect. I'll just make you a little big. Oh. Okay. But yeah, Merritt is on this side. I'll go ahead and pull Saskia over. Temporary art for Saskia. And okay, any questions based off the recap before we jump on in?
You had mentioned last session like a alarm counter.
Yes.
But we know how many points we have towards that out of 10 so far.
Yes, I would say above table. We definitely have that. You guys are at the total counter started at 8. You drop down to 5, and the idea is like when you reach 0, that's high alert. Right, that's full on, alarms blaring, backup being called, all that kind of stuff. So that's not good. So you guys are kind of sitting here figuring out how, and part of it was, I need to restart Roll20 APIs real quick because they're not working. Are they? Okay. But you guys had realized that Giannis is kind of calling out, and even though there's like a doorway and stuff, so it's not like everyone can hear him, but the idea is if he keeps yelling, that incognito counter is going to keep dropping, right? And that's going to be a little bit of trouble. Yeah, you're just trying to figure out what to do there. But yeah, any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then let us get on in as you guys are all out here. Kind of split up a little bit. Fallon, you're in front of this kind of scanner. You can see the security systems running. You're trying to use whatever like simple rigs you got on you to figure out ways to hack in. On the other end, Saskia and Merritt, you're looking at this like almost crazed contractor ahead of you who's got a knife in his hands and looking, and it's kind of dripping with blood of your very own ally Val, and just waiting, kind of stepping back and forth. Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
I think last session, Val hadn't tried to hack the door yet. I think it was just Fallon that had made an attempt at it. So could I do a run at it with, let me see, preferably technology? Or, I mean, I can do technology or data. Can I get a feel, like just by looking at this system, like which one would be better, like lower DC and less of effect on the alarms?
Yeah, I think so. You guys don't have like manual like hacking tools, right, in that way. So data would technically be easier, Like DC wise, it would be a little lower. But this is also higher clearance. So in general, it's more difficult than any of the other doors you've come across so far. But data will be an easier roll over technology.
Do I want to take the easier roll, but a -2 to the modifier, or the harder roll for -2 to the modifier? Like, what's the difference? I mean,
Up to you.
I think Val will probably stick with technology on it.
Okay. So you're trying to wire in.
That's so crazy.
You see beeping going off, a bit of sparks fray as you're trying to like technology side, right? Kind of get into the hardware of the scanner, and a few quick alarms go off here, and our incognito counter is going to drop from 5 to 4. Now nobody's rushing in yet, right? But it's just like the ambient noise is growing louder, a few sensors spiking, so if somebody does check certain alarm systems, they're going to notice something's up. So that is Val's quick kind of like decision in the moment. Fallon or Merritt, is there anything you guys are doing?
I'm going to look Giannis, and as he opens his mouth to start screaming again, I'm going to cast Void Light directly in front of his face.
Okay. What does...
And this is what the spell does.
Perfect. Okay, gambling. I like it. Go ahead. And sorry, I'm just getting everyone's tokens on the right HP and stuff.
That DC is not correct.
Which D? Oh, it's showing 10. Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably higher than that. No worries.
Yeah, my DC is 15.
15.
Just so none of us are confused, I'm very good at magic.
Hell yeah. We are going to roll for Giannis. That is a con save, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a failure on his end. So he immediately stares directly into the lights and kind of has burning reaction to his eyes because he was like so focused that it was easy to kind of catch him off guard with that.
Alright, so for damage, please be an 8. That's so close, it's a 6.
Okay. Six points of radiant damage.
I was just gonna say that, like, if you roll an 8, you can roll another die. That is insane. That is so cool.
Especially because I get more dice the higher level I get.
Yeah.
It's even more chance. It's great.
Oh, that's a cantrip too, isn't it? Or is that a spell?
It's a cantrip.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
And just like that, I will say, you see the void light just start blinding, and Giannis takes a decent hit. I know it's not the 8 to hit another 8, but 6 damage is not bad. And he took a little bit from Val before too, I think. So he is kind of stumbling back from that.
No, I don't think I got a chance to attack him.
I think I hit him.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you guys said maybe shot the blasters or the cantrips. Yes.
Yes, I think I hit him with Mind Sliver after he attacked Val.
Okay. So yeah. Oh, technically, I think then the Mind Sliver like debuff would also apply here. But doesn't change much for a save, but he is like stumbling back, snarling. Anything else for Merritt in this moment?
I look at him and I say, "It doesn't have to be painful. This could be easy. You just need to shut your mouth." Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I think because we're trying to hit him without going through the wall. There's not a whole lot of abilities that work that way, right? But I will say in this case, Saskia does have something that would work. Something that attacks the mind and slips past defenses, Mind Sliver. So
Yes.
she'll toss that. We'll have her toss that in on her end as well. Intelligence save from one Giannis. The hyena is going to oh, actually succeeds. That's pretty good. And so he's like kind of like become more aware and is like snarling, trying to like hide from sight and like trying to make it more difficult for the casters to get to him. But he's still in the room. Saskia and Merritt, you're here. And Fallon, I think that's over to you in terms of what you want to do.
Okay. So is this door locked from, I mean, like, it's like an ID badge, but is this door locked from the inside or the outside?
You would assume if it's anything like the other rooms, it's probably from the outside first.
Okay.
That's the primary mechanism.
Okay.
And I'll also go ahead and switch up our music, because you guys are fighting Yana, so I think there's a little bit more speed at work here. Because you guys are
Did we
down
not pick
to...
up the guard's badge?
You have that guard's badge, but they weren't high enough clearance.
I forgot, yeah.
Yeah, so you have that for some of the normal doors. It's a question of what to do here, as you know the counter. I mean, there's no counter for the characters, but you know that they're getting the sense like, okay, we are running it close if we keep like messing up the alarms or letting Giannis make sound. What's it gonna be?
Can I try and make another data check to try and hack it?
Yeah, you guys can try it. Just trying to brute force in. Hell yeah, you can make a data check. On a 5, unfortunately, that is another failure. Significant
this is
failure.
so bad.
And the alarms are starting to grow louder. The scanner's like fraying in all sorts of different ways, sparks coming out, different red kind of codes coming up. Incognito counter drops from a 4 to a 3.
I'm so sorry.
And then Fallon, I know you, and even for Merritt, I think in this scenario, you guys will use your actions, but if there's any bonus actions you also want to take, feel free to, include those as well.
I have something that I can do, but I would have to leave this room. And I'm scared of taking my I'll be honest.
Fair?
The only bonus action that I think would be helpful here is telestep, but if I get into that room, I can't get back out because I only have one use left.
Yeah. Just a question of if the door has a
So-
scanner on the other side.
Yeah.
Typically they don't. Typically. But I don't know if Fallon wants to risk being locked in a police room.
Yeah, like just being locked in the records room, I can't get out if something happens with combat and like it's just the two of you against all the other officers in here and then they call for backup like that. I don't know if I want to risk that.
Okay. So yeah, Fallon, no worries. You take a moment, you're thinking about what to do here, and it will go to Giannis at the end of sort of this like, abstract initiative. Giannis is going ahead and actually use his action to try and shout out for help or attention, really both. So we're gonna go ahead and call this. I'll say he doesn't have
I'm
any
so uncool about this.
cantrips. He's being a little loud about it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll just call this a charisma check. Right, he's just trying to shout out, get attention. How smart he is about that. I'm not gonna say deception. I'll just make it flat for him. Okay, he rolls kind of low. He doesn't meet the DC, so he's calling out, but it's full metal walls, right? This is meant to like stop, prisoners from causing any mayhem or trouble. For now, that's working against the officers of the station. They can't hear him. And that's back to you guys. Giannis is like just yelling. trying to figure out, looking around maybe for some objects or any ways to make himself louder. It's back to you guys.
Do I get any inclination that maybe like thieves' tools would work on this door without setting off the alarm, or no?
I would say if you have thieves tools as like one of those like proficiencies, we'll treat it as like interface rig, like the equivalent of like what it would be here, just like a hacking option. I will say if you're within 5 of the DC, you
That'd
will
be
not
there.
trigger alarms. Right? If you're so even if you fail, but you're within 5, you're good. Right? But if you fail significantly, it'll still cause alarms to go off. But yeah, if you use a interface rig, you should be good.
Okay. I didn't mean to click that. I was trying to look at my proficiency,
Yeah, no
but
worries.
if you're okay with using that roll, I'm okay with using that roll.
I think the one thing I'll say is this isn't a dex check. So what I'll say is, because I forgot you had thieves tools, which I should have said converts to interface. Sometimes you can use it as dexterity for more manual locks. For this, you can try to use interface to do, like what I said before, technology check, but you won't have a higher DC.
Oh, okay. So that would be a reroll then.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go ahead and reroll, but with technology instead. You are within 5, so no alarm goes off.
Damn it.
But you guys are like really like, okay, how can we get our way in? You're like testing different code. You're effectively trying to do different like code breaches, like running different password combinations, right? A little bit of different. It's like different brute force attempts from different angles. Fortunately, none of it quite clicking. Even as you're trying to like get under the system, trying to like mess with the wiring and the stuff. Val, it's holding on. It's a better security system on this part of the office.
Good lord.
Okay. Anybody else? Merritt? Fallon?
Okay. Is there any space in this door for me to put my physical gun in so I can fire at him?
Unfortunately not, because it's for the same reason they didn't want a prisoner to try and like lash out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just thought I'd ask.
Fair enough. And I'll say, if you want Saskia to try the Mind Sliver first to see if that can improve your like saving throw chances, we can also order it that way.
I'm just trying. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Let's have Saskia do that, so I can have a little more of a chance
Okay.
to hopefully get him down.
He rolls pretty well
If
on
he
his...
dies here, it's great.
He rolls pretty well on his intelligence save, so unfortunately no debuff. But Merritt, you can go for your tries if you'd like.
Okay. We've got this, gang.
I believe.
Okay. I'm
It's just
gonna
both
do
of you
another
from the
void light.
outside yelling spells into the prison room.
Stop! Stop resisting!
He's just like, let me out, and he's gonna go ahead and wow, that's a that is a nat 1.
Yes.
He rolls like shit. Go ahead and roll the damage for Void Light. I'll say on a nat 1, you can re-roll if you want.
Hey.
7 points of damage. It's a painful slam in. He stumbles back and realizes you guys are kind of using your line of sight to get to him. So he's trying to look around where he can hide in his prison cell from you guys.
I'm gonna pitch my voice low and get real close to the door and say there's no escape. Just sit down and give in. Can I make some sort of like intimidation check or something?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Hell yeah.
Fortunately,
A 10.
yeah, I'll say it's not that it's not intimidating, but it triggers that like that fight or flight instinct, right? That desperation. Like,
He's a fighter.
yeah, he knows like this is a terrible situation, but that's why he's becoming desperate. He's like, I need to live. Like, what's the way out? Okay. back over on the other side, Fallon, what are you doing?
Didn't we find some kind of control room?
You guys were able to get into the system here from this door. So from this room, from the holding cell, you're able to get into the security systems to the extent where you're able to control like the cameras. That's why you guys are able to see where everyone is. Like you got the camera system taken over.
We can't open doors from there, can we?
Unfortunately not. Yeah. It's not like it's a somewhat closed loop in certain parts of the security system.
Can I use my bonus action to give Fallon advantage on a check, or would that be a full help action to do that?
I will say you can. Go ahead and give me maybe a technology check in this moment to see if you can pass the interface rig over to Fallon, see if that can help with giving advantage. 13? It's just the rig, so all you're doing is helping lower the DC a little bit. So what I'll say is it's not advantage for Fallon, but it's going to lower the DC slightly. So Fallon, you kind of see Val's tapping into some of the manual systems, like the physical systems, that's going to affect some of the data attempts you're making. Your DC has dropped by 2.
Okay. Shit. Okay. Fuck.
Okay. Alarms are going off more and more. We are down. Where were we at? 4. We're down to 3.
We were at 3.
Oh, we were at 3. Sorry, you're at 3. We're down to 2.
I have a bonus action.
Yes.
Can I trust you guys to handle shit if I get into this room?
We're gonna do our best to get you out. If
Okay.
You can't get out.
Perfect. Fallon is gonna get really frustrated. Toss the tools, like just shove them back in Val's hands. Just be like, Jesus, this is ridiculous. And then put her hands on the door and telestep into the room.
And just like that, you're on the other side. You look in here, Fallon, and you see what actually, before you see, it's the smell that hits. It's the smell of like that yellowed paper. It's a cramped room. You see stacked wall to wall with filing cabinets, all sorts of boxes of documents, binders, manila folders, everything kind of strewn all about. And you are in the one and only records room.
Perfect.
Just like that. You can go ahead and jump into the room. You're there. And I will say, as part of that, you have object interaction if you want to try and like look at anything, do anything here.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find our records first and foremost.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check as you just start looking at the files. Unfortunately, you are starting to flip through. There are so many files here. Right, this is like so many, and I think you realize on that 6, it's not even like it's ordered by like alphabetical or anything like that. It's very like odd, and in fact, some of it, like some sections seem to be based on recency of updates or based off of when the actual processing was, but then other sections have like weird like last name alphabetical or first name alphabetical or planet based like alphabetical, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? But there's like at least 5 different systems of ordering.
Can I try and get into this computer?
Yeah, you can start getting it. I'll say at the start of your, like on your following turn, you can like try and do stuff with the computer.
Okay.
But for now, you're in the room. You're in the room. You're good there, and you've gotten it. On the other hand, I'm going to have Giannis the hyena on his turn. Instead of yelling, trying to stealth out of sight of Merritt and Saskia, who are just blasting him with these cantrips. 23. He is going to slip into an angle. He's a criminal who's very familiar with the angles of the cameras, vision, all that kind of stuff. So he slips into a angle just like almost close to the door, but out of sight of like the opening kind of glass that you can see through. And yeah, he is technically out of sight for this opportunity, Merritt. Which brings us back to you guys. That is his turn. Oh, that's his bonus action because he's a little rogue. He can do a little bit of hiding as a bonus action. He's going to use his main action to still call for help. Let's go ahead and make a charisma check. Jesus Christ, that is terrible. That's a 5. So he's like hiding out of sight but calling for help, but it's just like it's the wall and everything here. This is not working. Okay, back to you guys. If we want to just go right back to Fallon or anybody else, again, does not have to be in a strict initiative order.
I'm gonna rush over to this computer. I can.
Yeah, the one over here, right, for Merritt?
I don't have enough movement to get to like the desk.
You can do a little jump
hop
on
over
over.
the desk.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Saskia will. She can go over and give you a help action.
All right, perfect. I'm going to try and get into the like full system of the police station to try and shut the alarms off if I can.
I see. Like not the scanners, but the alarms.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead and give me a data check as you are getting through the systems, going through the security like software.
I have advantage
Oh, yeah.
because of Saskia.
13. I will say you're able on a 13. You just shut off some of the alarms, right? It's usually pretty easy to do that if you're like in the system already. So it's kind of like you're treating it like a false flag. You're like, okay, no worries, you know, just a test run, and you're executing some of those commands, and it's going to go ahead, and we're going to take from a 3 instead of down to a 2 up to a 4.
Okay, can I send out like a quick email saying, sorry, we're testing the alarm system today. Please disregard.
Yeah. You send that out. Not like anyone was even paying attention, but should they come back to this later, they will see that email. And you have that officer's badge, so you're under their kind of account right now as you're sending this email out. Hell yeah. That's Saskia and Merritt. Val and Fallon, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna give it one more shot with the
interface?
like interface, so that will negate the alarm, right? If I
Yes.
fail again.
As long as you're within 5, you should be good. It will not trigger alarms.
Okay.
Okay, you're not within 5 of failing. Instead, you are above on succeeding. So right after Fallon
Finally.
slips through, it is a little odd because you kind of catch as Fallon slips through. Some of the signals kind of disrupt on the screen. Like there's some interference or static coming through, and all of a sudden, some of the abjuration that feeds into the system not working as intended. You can see it's not like destroyed, it's just like disabled, right? It's just like off in a way, and all of a sudden it comes through a lot easier. The interface rig is connecting, you're going through the hardware, and it's all clear. And so Fallon, you are like getting ready, approaching the computer, and you just see the door slide open on the other end, a few sparks kind of like coming out the edges, but overall fine.
All right. So just doors open, and Val's gonna look at Fallon, like interface still in their hand, and be like, "Do you want help searching, or can I go beat the fuck out of that guy now?"
Merritt and Saskia are over there. You're good with technology, right?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, can you get into that computer over there? And I'm gonna keep trying to look in these files.
Sure, for sure. So Val will just rush over to the computer, and do I have any more economy on this turn to try to mess with the computer?
I'll say you can do the classic, like, try it as a bonus action. It's just going to bump up the DC, but you can try it. This is not like a security system, right? It's just like a computer here in the records room. So, in your head, you're like, it should have a lower security presence.
All right.
And you've got the rig, so it's almost like you take a wire out with, like, a USB port, plug it in, start getting into the systems.
Cool. So just technology to try to get in?
Yeah, that works.
Oh my god.
But it's a computer. Not really many alarms. Just some password fails. Error messages pop up. That's it.
Get a really unhelpful hint for the password.
Yeah, you're just like,
Yeah.
shit, what could this be? I will say, that was attempting to get into the computer. You can still use Object to just manually search through files.
Yeah, if there's like files next to me, kind of like over here, just object interaction, I'll just kind of like scurry through them real quick. I'm not just gonna look for our files, I'm also gonna look for Yanis's files too.
Okay.
To find evidence to support what we're doing to him.
No, that
basically.
makes sense, yeah. Also taking him out of the system.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're like, flipping through folders, grabbing manila folder here, throwing it that way, taking a box, taking it open. 13. You are actually, you don't see your files, but you can find Giannis's on a 13, because that's actually pretty recent. And so there's a section that's going updated by recency, and you do see a file on Giannis from there. It shows that Giannis is a member of is believed to be a member of the firm, a contractor is the official term, and is considered a witness in an organized crime case involving another kind of more small scale but still dangerous smuggling ring. And there's like other question marks about possible connections to coalition raids and materials, like a military like coalition installation. But for now, all it says is like he's related to the smuggling case, right? As a witness. So he's not a part of the smuggling, but he was a witness to something that happened there. And he's placed in protective custody and waiting transfer to a secure location. And it also notes willing to act as a witness on multiple other cases, and starts listing out other suspected contractors.
Oh, so he's a full mole.
Yeah, like he's
Okay.
fully snitching. Okay. Is there any way that Val can like take a picture of this and just like send it to our boss, and then like
Send it to oversight.
send it to oversight, and then like just tear the fuck out of it?
Yeah, I mean, you can rip it apart, you can keep the pieces on you and like tear it up. And yeah, you take pictures though before you do that, send it over oversight. You got the data pad with direct connection. Send it over. There is no issue. And you just see. Now, I think the one thing I will note, because just a witness alone isn't enough. You notice there's a mention of evidence on the file. So it wasn't just testimony. There must be evidence they provided as well. Some details to help corroborate. And I think you just get back a message from Oversight in order to not have sound. Oversight just says, confirmed. Retrieve whatever evidence may be given. Delete the testimonials. And take care of Giannis.
And this is the evidence room that we're in, right?
This is the records room.
Fuck.
So you're like, for the most part, this office is more of a archives office, right? It's less of a full-size precinct as like you might expect in a big city. So it's mainly for filing, but somehow Giannis ended up here to give his like sort of confession, and that's why they said he's going to be moved out by the morning, right, to a much more secure, larger establishment. So you think whatever evidence is here has got to be kept somewhere secure to be moved out with him.
We could check out the interrogation room.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Either that or it's in the chief of police office.
Oh boy, we have to kill all the police officers here.
I mean, they can, but
Yeah.
it's just gonna be
I
a lot
mean-
of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Val's on 1 HP too, so it's just I'm trying to avoid a fight, but also I could get into one if I need to. I'll just try to find like an IFAC and an officer or something.
You're also trying to clear your criminal records. You don't
Yeah.
want to kill too many cops to restart your criminal record.
Yeah.
But
But
if we steal these ones, they won't have them,
maybe.
and then we'll be
Oh, yeah.
gone. They can't make criminal records for people that aren't there.
Could be an interesting decision. But I'll say, as Val, you're doing that, right? Going through the files, you grab Giannis's. Val, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna keep sort of trying to rifle through and see what I can find. Just like scouring
Okay.
through every piece of paper I see.
Yeah, you can go ahead if you want to take your action to do an investigation check. That's going to drop the DC. It's going to be like the lowest option, and then bonus action's a little higher, free action's a little higher. But yeah, you can effectively make 3 investigation checks if you'd like.
I'll do that. I'll start with it as my action.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good use of the action. You start flipping through, and Fallon, you find the case files.
That's
It's-
a nat 20, just by the way.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not showing the green. I'm so used to. Yeah, nat 20. Okay. So you're going to find a bunch of stuff. So, Fallon, it finally clicks because you took that first, like, couple seconds before figuring out, like, this weird ordering system, but you realize there's a section that's based off not the prisoner details necessarily, but the destination details, right? It's based off booking and where their expected destination was. And you find files related to the prisoners who are being transported to Black Coast. You start going through those files, right? And you realize there's files on your whole crew, as well as Karixar. And even as you go through that, you pull those files out, you start to look, and there's a few other files related to possible contractors. And you wonder if that's tied to what Giannis has started writing out. And so you're pulling criminal record after criminal record. Now, there is a box that you catch that has a bunch of, like, files. Like, this seems to be the box that, or that has been most, like, how do I say it? Like, action, like, so much of, like, seemingly files being taken out, put in, like, all that kind of stuff has been happening out of one of these boxes. And the labels you see on this, it is labeled the Butcher. Case files related to the Butcher.
The Butcher.
And it describes a a high-profile serial killer who's been making killings in relatively nearby areas of space. The nearest Moss station had, as of now, 4 reported victims who were found killed with severe blood loss. And even on Bastion, about a week prior, they have so far tallied up 3 victims who've died that they've found. And so their estimates, though, is that, you know, the nature of, like, these sort of reports and call-ins, it could actually be even as much as twice as many victims, but they're still, like, trying to find them because of the recency. The important note is that they've also started to pull ships. So sometimes ships go missing, right, out in space, but there's been reports coming in now of ships that have gone missing maybe like 3-4 weeks ago that have been found with, at this point, almost a dozen crew members, all killed with similar blood loss. Limited signs of struggle and ship damage, so it doesn't seem like external raiders, you know, boarding and blasting their way through the defenses. But so far, the total victim count is about like 36 so far.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm gonna take that.
Just the whole box.
The whole box.
Okay. So you grab the whole box, you got all these files, you're taking pictures, recording, but you're grabbing the physical manila folders and all that stuff as well. You're tossing them away wherever you can. But you also have all of your files, and you also, if you'd like, can take the files on other contractors.
Yeah, I want to do that too. I want to take everything that seems like it mildly piques my interest.
Okay.
I'm like, cool, if I got this.
You're just grabbing a bunch of files, hell yeah.
Sweeping the shelves clean.
Everything of interest, anything firm related. Now you also got this butcher individual, you got everything related to that. So you grab all these files and you're just shoving them into like whatever bags you guys have. And the record room you finally got into is now cleaned out of any of these key files. There's still so many others left, but all the things that piqued your interest are taken foul.
Perfect. Can I use my bonus action to get back up to them, like over here?
Yeah, you still have all your movement, so yeah, you can totally just run on over there with just your normal movement.
Cool. Okay, she's running over, and she's like, guys, you're never gonna believe this. Look at all this, and just, like, drops the box in front of him.
Oh. Merritt's also going to look at Val and say, so he's hiding in his cell right now? I think our best option is just to all stand in front of his door and then we open it and all fire at once.
I'm down with that.
Awesome. Okay. Yes, Merritt is going to run over to the door. And she's going to kind of... She can't see Yanis, but she's going to speak into the cell. We found what you were trying to give them. This is your last chance to die with dignity.
You just hear kind of from the cell, a little muted and muffled, but ain't no dignity in death. That's a lie. So come on in. Let's see if any of you die with dignity.
Sounds like a coward. And Merritt is going to... She's going to cast Mage Armor on herself. So that gets her... brings her AC to +3. Alright, beautiful. And then she's going to just kind of hold her blaster ready until the rest of her team gets over here so she can open the door and they all fire at once.
Okay.
Because she saw what he did to Val. She doesn't want any of that.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys want, you grab all the files and close the door behind you, Val, and all of you can post up in front of this door.
Val was going to check for one more thing in this room, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
I know you said this is a file room. This wasn't like the evidence or like personal belongings room, but Val is going to do just a quick check through. It's like, is the stuff that she had on her when she got, like here at all? Or
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. Well, you look through. Like I said, there's no explicit evidence room in this building, but the records room does have a bunch of boxes and items. And anything that wasn't too serious, like weapons and all, you realize there's a couple of boxes that are just the small personal effects that are getting ready for, processing to be brought along to some of the prison stations and the like that the destinations are, right? But, they don't take this too seriously. Send it along whenever they feel like it. Maybe you'll come back and get it later, if you ever make it out of the Black Hills prison. There is at least 3 boxes you find that are all these random personal effects of prisoners that were booked in the last, couple months. Opening through, rifling, just throwing stuff aside. Takes you, everyone else is kind of waiting on the other side, but you eventually do find, with a little label of your name, small, almost like bag. That's it. Almost like, think about like a kind of big Ziploc bag of just personal effects related to one Val. And what exactly does Val see in that bag?
I think, let me double check my story real quick. I think all that's in there is just, there's a pair of gloves that are probably just a size too big for her. Some sort of like knife. It's about the size for a combat knife, but it's also probably not intentionally used for combat. And there's also like a small little charm that I haven't quite figured out what it looks like yet, but it is a charm that means a lot to her and probably has some sort of relation to her last name as well. And she just puts on the gloves, finds some spot for the knife, and then takes the charm and shoves it into the same pocket that has a picture of her brother. And then she's going to come and meet up with everyone else.
Okay. You all are on the other. I'll say in that time, Giannis will try another attempt at calling attention. I cannot roll over a 5 with his attempts to call. His stealth is great. His calls for attention. It's just it's a really solid metal door. So yeah, you guys all post up on this door, getting ready to open. What do each of you ready in this building?
I'm gonna ready my attack with my repeater, and then a bonus action attack with my finger guns.
Okay.
I think what Val is gonna do is ready a grapple check.
Okay.
And if alongside that, no, I don't think that I can do that actually. So I'm just gonna ready like a grapple check to kind of hold him down. And does the grapple check qualify as a like unarmored attack, right?
It's not an unarmored attack. For the purposes of like any exploits that land on attack, it's not a on-hit effect. It's just a grapple. It's like a contested check.
Actually, in that case, I think Val's just gonna ready like an unarmored strike, and when it pops, I'm gonna use disarm exploit on him, so he drops his knife.
Hell yeah. Yeah. You're like thinking, should I hold him down? You're just like, why bother? And just kind of get your arm ready, shoulder like locked up. Hell yeah. Fallon, what are you getting ready?
I actually would love to like sort of sneak to the side here and ready a sneak attack with my blaster.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. See how well like hidden to the side you are.
Damn.
You're trying. You're trying to keep to the side, but who knows? Maybe Giannis is perceptive enough, attentive enough to avoid. But you all are there. Weapons drawn.
Can I also try to like ready sneak attack as well? Yeah. Like just dug down below like the window, like perfectly angled at the, like ready to just take one step forward and right in the jaw.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check for Val. Okay, 16. So yeah, kind of try to duck, stay low, out of sight. And Saskia can be the one to open the door as you guys have your actions held. Approaches, gives you a nod, and it's going to open the door. And I'm going to say there is something interesting that's going to happen here, because all of you are readying your action for when the door opens. But our friend on the other side is also readying his action for when the door opens. So let's do a quick, it's just to see who goes off first, a round of initiative checks, just to see which of these held actions is going to be first up on the list.
Would holding an action negate my sanctuary?
Technically, I think it's when you make the attack, sanctuary goes away.
Can I... Knowing this and knowing what happened the first time, can Val purposely, like, throw the initiative?
Oh, to not go for... Okay.
Yeah, to let him do whatever he's planning to do, and it will hit me in Sanctuary, but it won't hit me because I have Sanctuary, and then I'll attack.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see who he goes for.
Yeah, if that costs me sneak attack too, that's fine. Oh, well, I didn't even need to throw it.
Hell yeah. It's gonna work.
Hell yeah. Real quick. My roll 20 is being a little silly. What did you roll for initiative? For Val?
I rolled a nat 1 for it too.
Beautiful. He does have, I believe, the highest because he rolled a 13.
Well, that sucks. Well, that just doesn't seem right.
And Val, he does not go after you because a 16 is high enough to beat him out. So I'm going to roll between Merritt and Fallon. We'll say Fallon, do you want to go high or low?
Low.
Okay. Low. So you got the luck check right. It's going to go, unfortunately, for Merritt in this scenario.
No, I'm so sorry.
Okay. sorry, roll 20 is not loading. I need his. I think I know his attack roll off the top of my head, but I just want to make sure. But for now, I think that's going to be 12 plus. I think it's going to be plus 6, so 18 to hit.
I guess that hits. I guess that just barely hits my sorcerer.
Hell yeah. So, Blade's going up, going for Merit. Let's go ahead and I have to check his features via laser llama real quick.
You're gonna watch Merritt just get one shot. I feel it. I feel it in my heart.
And he does pop up. It's really funny what you described, Val, because that's the same thing I had in mind. Like, you open the door, he's out of sight, and you realize he's not out of sight. He's just down low as he leaps up, and he is going to use Dread Strike as part of this. Okay.
It's like we're at like eye level, but he's like looking upwards, and I'm just looking directly at him so he doesn't see me.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got his attention elsewhere. That's going to be sneak attack plus this. So it's D8 here, D8 there. He just has 2d8 for that. Dread Strike he's going to add here. Oh, I think roll 20 is finally loading up, so I can double check his stuff. Hell yes.
I'm so scared for you right now, Merritt.
Okay, he does have Chromatic Infusion, so that's a D4.
Jesus Christ.
We had that up from before. We're gonna use Sweeping Strike as well.
He wants me dead.
D4.
I was psychologically torturing him literally 10 seconds ago.
No, for real.
Yeah, he wants a little bit of a comeback. Like he said, he's gonna try and take one of you down with him.
This is fair. This is fair.
Yeah, it's 2d6 for Rogue at this level. So I think we've got all his damage dice ready. Yes, okay. And that is some low ass rolls, unfortunately, on his end. That is 5, 7. That's only 9. He rolled 3 ones. 9 points of damage, despite many dice, is what Merritt is going to take in this moment. But as he stabs into Merritt, can everyone else give me a quick insight check?
Inside. Okay.
Okay, never
Right.
mind. Nothing. He's just stabbing. He's just a crazy guy stabbing. So, Merritt, that's going to be 9 damage to you. But otherwise, the rest of you, your attacks are ready to rumble.
Oh, yes. Okay, perfect. That's an 18.
18 is going to hit Giannis. Hell yeah.
And that is 6 fire damage.
Firing a shot at Giannis. Hell yeah. Sorry, actually, go ahead. Can you make that attack roll a disadvantage? Because he approached with the... He's in melee range.
Yeah. Yes.
But we'll keep the 6 damage. Okay, so never mind. He will not actually get shot.
That's okay. It
He's like,
happens.
up close, you fire off the repeater, but you did say you also had the finger gun ready, right?
So, I misremembered how that works. It's a bonus action to activate it. I can use an action to fire from my
Got it.
fingers. for a
So,
minute.
you have it active, but you're going to have to fire it off next turn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You got the blaster shot off, though. But Val and Fallon, you can try and take... He's looking rough. Merritt was beating him up from outside the prison door before. So what do you do, Val and Fallon?
Go ahead and try to punch him.
14 will just hit. And actually, you can go ahead and roll at advantage, because you did avoid his detection.
Oh!
We'll keep the 14. No worries.
All right.
Go ahead and attack, and you're gonna add sneak attack, and then Fallon, you can also make your attack roll with the. I think you're using the blaster to do so. That will also be. That will not be an advantage for Fallon.
I don't have the blaster info in my inventory.
No worries. That might be. I think. Apologies on mine. I was supposed to send that over because I think you had also bought a standard repeater last session.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, you can roll dexterity plus proficiency for your attack roll.
Okay.
Since I did hit, it'd be 5 with the 7 sneak attack, and then I'm also going to disarm. So it's kind of like a punch, and then I'm going to like smack the knife out of his hand type deal.
Okay. Okay.
But he would have to make a strength saving throw against my DC of 14.
Real quick, as Val's going for that disarm, Fallon does roll a nat 20 on her shot at Giannis. So you're doing 12 points, like you're making contact with his arm, like getting ready to try and knock the weapon out. Fallon, you take the shot at the same moment. That is a nat 20, so your weapon, the repeater, would do 2d6 normally. It's going to do 4d6 fire damage.
No.
And your sneak attack, Fallon, is it 2d6?
It should be.
I think so at level 3, right?
Think so.
So that will also go up to 46. So can you go ahead and roll 8d6 damage right now?
Yes. I'm gonna roll 6 and then 2 more.
Yeah. So 31 points of damage. Fallon. As Val slams into Giannis's arm, he had 13 hit points, so he had 1 left over after Val's attack. What does it look like as you put 31 points of damage into this perfectly placed shot into Giannis the Hyena?
So as I'm sort of over in this corner, I see Val sort of lunge up and make contact with him. And in that moment, I just sort of sidestep, raise the repeater in both hands, deep breath, and just aim straight between the eyes. And as it makes contact, I just see and know that this has done exactly what I needed it to do.
And it's that range where it's not disadvantage, right? It's not melee, but it's so close that there's not even a fraction of a second between when you pull the trigger and when the body starts to collapse. And a once feared criminal is now dead on the ground, unmoving and unable to speak no more.
Is his knife still in my chest?
Yeah, there's like a knife plunged in that as he was like gonna drag out, Val smacked the arm. So yeah, there's just like a knife kind of in the abdomen of Merritt. But yeah, Giannis is not out. He's dead. Both.
I pull out the knife and I cast bending on myself.
That went a little better than I expected it to.
Definitely went better than the first try.
Is he dead? And you just hear a voice from the other cell.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Who's asking?
Well, I am, but just wanted to say, if you don't mind, I'm not a rat. I'm not a snitch. I got caught on a theft case, but hey, I don't want to be here when they start asking questions. Do you mind letting me go?
Did we see any other documents about anyone else that would have been here at the time when we
I
were
think
searching?
Fallon rolled a nat 20, so Fallon, you would have seen like there was a case on a recent like literally as of a couple hours ago who got pulled in. It's a thief from stealing from one of the local like alcohol store, like liquor stores, and is clearly not the same tier of what Giannis is like case wise. I mean, they're like seem to have a couple like again lower level records of them committing different acts of thievery, but yeah, they're not like a contractor or anything like that, but they're just like just want to go free. that's that's it. Don't want to cause too much of a trouble here.
Think we should. He's just a guy going through something.
Yeah. Best there's no one here for them to ask questions, you know?
I agree.
Merritt goes to open the door, but before she does, like hand hovering over the pad, she looks at the prisoner. There is a back door out. Um, we're gonna stay here just a little bit longer, so when you leave, make sure to be as quiet as possible, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
All right. She opens the door and she like points to where the back door is out the hallway.
Yeah, all of you give me a quick perception check as the individual. I think, Merritt, you might have caught the name before when you accessed the computer. This is Jirda, a goblin thief here, who she kind of just like steps away. Okay. Fallon, you catch just almost like imperceptible. She like, as she's walking past the officer on the ground, seems to snag something from like a lower pocket, which you recognize is a few. It's like a mini data pad that he was using before at the vending machine. And you kind of catch on her way out, she stops, turns, swipes, grabs a chocolate covered donut, and then heads out of the precinct.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
she's cute. I liked her now.
And yeah, you've taken care of Giannis. He's dead. Up to you guys what you want to do with the body. But you know that some sort of evidence he had given is somewhere in this precinct.
We could try searching him. They may have let him keep it since he was being cooperative.
Did have
Yeah,
a knife
let's
on
search
him.
him. Oh, I want to grab his. Yeah, I have his knife. Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm keeping his knife, by the way. It's mine.
Yeah, it's just a nice, well-made, like, metal knife. So you can treat it as a normal yeah, this one would be... Actually, no, this would be equivalent to a short sword, what he has.
Ooh. I don't think I'm good with those, but I have it now.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you guys, go ahead and give me a quick investigation check as you pat down his body.
I'm also back to full health with my healing.
Yeah, Merritt seems to just patch herself up pretty easy on the other side. But Val, you're still kind of limping from your blade wound.
I'll actually look closer to the desk and on the officer for
So.
Wait, could you repeat that last part, Soap? It kind of.
Oh, sorry. Could Val actually look like around the officer or around the desk, like some way to heal herself?
Yeah, you can. I'll say it's part of this investigation check if you want. It's just you like scoping out the whole place. You guys are in the holding cell right now. Unfortunately, there is nothing on this officer outside of the donut with a bite taken out of it. There's no method of healing, no potions, no like equivalent, right? No medicine patches, anything like that. And while you're checking there, on the other investigation check, actually you roll really high, so I'll say you and Fallon, even checking over Giannis, do not actually find anything. He was cleaned out. No weapons. He had barely even armor, and you were like, maybe that's just more for protective purposes. You get the idea that blade was something he smuggled in as like a worst case scenario option. So there's no data pad, nothing on him.
Should we just leave the body in the cell?
Yeah, just close the door.
Yeah. Merritt kind of pushes him a little further into the cell so we can close the door so it doesn't close on him.
Okay.
Then she closes it and locks it.
Hell yeah.
She does leave Jirda's cell wide open.
Okay.
Is there any blood on the hallway outside this door? Like, is it all in the cell?
I'll say Val got a little bloodied, but not too much. You guys we'll just say you just are able to quickly like wipe it down. So there's not a whole lot because Val didn't get knocked out. So there's not too much there, but you kind of keep an eye out. And I'll say with those investigation checks, clean up this immediate vicinity.
I guess we should go to the other room then and see if it's in there.
All right, and we go there as quiet as we can.
Okay.
Make sure we don't run into anyone.
Okay, go ahead. And
Sneaky,
give me-
sneaky.
Go ahead and give me a round of, I'll say stealth checks as you guys approach. Okay?
Damn.
We got this.
Kind
We
of
have this.
walking out, realizing through all the sounds of the brief moment of combat that maybe a couple of gunshots in a police precinct is not the quietest, even through some of these like metal doors. And so your incognito counter drops from a 4 back down to a 3. As you're trying to stealth through, go ahead, everyone, roll me a D20, just a flat D20 as you begin to approach. I assume you're approaching this doorway. At the end of the hallway. This one?
We're heading to the interrogation room.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no worries. You can go ahead and still roll the D20, but yeah, you guys are heading over there. Yep. You head on over to the interrogation room. You guys already have the access badge from the officer. You're able to swipe in. What are you looking for?
Whatever evidence Giannis had on him.
Yeah, Merritt's gonna pull up any records of Giannis, his confessions, anything like that.
Got it. I will say you can make this either investigation or data check, because it's like you have access to the computer, so it's not a hacking question. It's more like sifting through, seeing if there's any information that may be tucked away, and maybe not locked, but just organized or hidden somewhere else.
I'm gonna scream.
Can I make an investigation check with her?
Yeah. And I'll say
Fallon, you do it.
one of you can get advantage from Saskia. Whoever, or I will add, because I know Soap stepped away from the bathroom. You guys can both roll at advantage, right? Just because like you technically have 2 teammates there helping it. Okay. Okay. So one of the rolls went up. You are sifting through the information, trying to go through the audio logs, and you find a conversation. Something that seems to have been recorded earlier between them. And you're kind of going through the transcripts, trying to see, okay, but what did this mean? Right? And you see conversations between a detective and a Chief Kathleen here with Giannis the Hyena. He's willing to give up names of other contractors, details about the recent hit that happened. And he's like, he's been around. He's got details on all sorts of criminal enterprises that he could help give the BLO. So he's just ready to speak. The thing is, most of the information he acquired, as he kind of shows, is on a data pad, like a deck. But he mentions it's password protected, a password he doesn't even have. He's willing to give it up as long as they guarantee his safety. Detectives, chief, kind of talking outside, like with the mic off, for about a minute before they turn and make a deal. And you see that deck of the deck that he has that's holding this information is passed on over to the chief of the BLO here.
Damn.
Something about needing it kept safe.
I just had a great idea.
Which is?
We set off the fire alarm, get everyone out, and we raid the chief's office.
You don't think she'd keep it on her?
Maybe.
I guess it's worth a shot.
I mean, if anyone else has any plans, I just don't want to walk into a room full of police officers.
I don't think Val can survive that long, so yeah. It might be our only option at this point. Okay, let's pull a fire alarm.
Right? Can I actually... Okay, yes. Merritt is gonna peek out the door of the interrogation room to see if she can spot a fire alarm or anything along the wall in the hall.
You guys are gathered up here. Now, give me a quick insight check for all of you guys before, because you're having this thought process, you're thinking out loud. Just want to clarify some details.
Of course, of course.
Because you have been going through several of their computers and systems. And what I'll say is, you guys have gone through at different moments, different areas. There are certain policies that are pretty easily accessible, right? Like fire drill, like safety instructions, that's not archived or locked or anything like that. So in some of these computers where you have access to the systems, you can double check, and UC protocol is to gather all the officers stationed as well as the prisoners and head on out. So
Yeah, so we can't do that.
it's not that a fire drill wouldn't get them out of the room. The question is, what happens when they find the bodies?
Yeah.
That's what that was my one hitch with this plan.
Yeah,
Is they might try to save the prisoners.
you can try. They don't know who did this, right? So there might still be confusion and distraction. It's just something to make note of.
I will be right back. I have to go deal with my cats for a second, and I'll BRB.
No worries.
Okay. I can't be the one to make this decision.
No, you can.
It can't be me.
You can keep spitballing ideas if you'd like, right? I'm just the environment, so I can help give you context for your characters that you might have. Is there anything else you're trying to check through in the computers? Right. You have access to 2 rooms pretty easily. Pretty handy. Well, 3 with the records room. But, like, is anything else you want to check? Anything that's been grabbed so far? You guys also technically have a box full of files as well.
Oh,
He's
look
just
at that
chilling.
baby. Having the most like death-like cat stare in the world.
Yeah, just the arms I go to. Like, yeah, what's up?
I guess it's how I live my life.
But, yeah, so I'll say you guys have access. If there's anything else you want to check in the systems, policies, procedures, anything of sort, any ideas that come to mind can help give context.
Oh, can I try and hack into the chief's computer, or like try and see if I can reach her like files in any way?
I see, like a remote hack, like getting into one
Yeah.
of the other computer, using one of these computers to get into hers.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Hello.
Yeah. I think the current
But,
idea is a remote hack into the chief's computer.
Okay.
Just to see if it's possible at first. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can pull up her screen on this computer.
You can try, right? There's always like, how many applications can you get into on the chief's computer, or like, is it even her computer, or are you just trying to get it? You sneak credentials in to get into applications that she's using, right? Like, there's multiple layers. Is it full
Yes.
remote access, or is it just, hey, I got into like her email? And you don't have to tell me now what you're going for. It could just be like your check determines what you're able to get access to.
Yeah,
You
I think right now she's trying to see if there is a copy of the data pad on her in her files somewhere, or if she's talked about it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are sifting through here in the interrogation room. You found some more details. You can head back to the holding cell room, log into the computer there, and yeah, do you want to give me a data check as you try and get into some of the chief's applications or files remote? And I'll say Saskia can give you the help action.
Hell yeah.
16. Unfortunately, that is not high enough to get full remote access. But
That's
you
fine.
are able to get into some very minor stuff, like the calendar application, a few other applications, right? And you don't quite see any super clear details about, like, this is exactly the passcode to this. But I think you sift through a few messages, a few other items, and you're like more and more certain, based off what you saw in the interrogation room, that the deck, that data deck, is being kept by the chief, like in her office. Now, what you also see is a couple meetings, you know, discussions, things like that. But there's also something about briefings relating to the butcher's case. So that seems to be the
Are there
main focus.
Mhm. Are there any briefings scheduled for tonight?
There looks to be one scheduled for a couple hours later. But you're in the system, you could just change the time.
I'm gonna do that. I'm going to move the briefing meeting up into like 10 minutes from now.
As you do that, you expect, based off the settings, that because it's 10 minutes from now, that there'll be a reminder sent right now to the chief. And as you watch from the cameras, you see her kind of working away at something, kind of, for a moment, pause, look at the screen, sigh, like, make some sort of expression in what you can only assume to be like some like expletive. She turns, takes a sip of some sort of like crash or coffee, looks back, looks through a few paper files, just shrugs, goes back to typing. But you don't see on your end that notification, like the notification's closed. The timing stays what it is, but you change it to.
Mm.
So.
Okay. So they all got a notification. We have to wait 10 minutes to see if they actually go to the meeting room.
Okay.
Now, the other question I have is if this is every officer being involved in this meeting, there is a dead officer right next to us. So, should somebody don their uniform and pretend to be this guy so that we don't get caught?
Do any of us fit his physical like measurements?
Maybe. I think that would be part of whatever disguise attempts or deception attempts you guys get up to. How well you can kind of fit that profile. I'll say it's like average, a little bit more physical build. So I think it might be closer to Fallon or Val in terms of like that appearance or build.
Do you
My
wanna put on his outfit?
persuasion and deception are so bad.
Really?
I feel like this is one of those like scenes from the movies where like everyone like slow turns towards Val and she's just like not fully paying attention. She's like, "What?
Still
Y'all want me?
bleeding.
What?" Yeah, no, literally.
Real quick, what is everyone's passive perception? Because I also think you guys have moved out of the interrogation room at this time.
Mine is
Yeah, we went-
12.
We went to that room.
12,
Mine
Mine-
is also 12.
also 12,
9.
9. You hear footsteps outside as you look at the cameras, and the officer who's in the restroom, and it's like after a few more minutes, is out and walking. And starts heading towards the door near you.
Body, grab the body. Move the body. Move the body. Move the body. Merritt's gonna try and start dragging the officer on the ground this way into the shadows.
Okay?
Val is going to move next to the door, stealth, and is going to ready a grapple, I guess.
Okay. That's if they step into the room, right?
Yeah, that's if they step into the room. I'm gonna ready a grapple. That's like part of it is gonna be like a hand is over mouth, so they cannot scream.
Okay.
Can I prop him up in this chair?
Yeah, which chair do you want to prop him up in?
There's on the map. There's a chair right here.
Yes.
So can I like prop him up, make it look like he just kind of fell asleep?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Hell yeah. And what is Fallon doing in this moment? Like an officer walking down
So-
the hall. But yeah,
Crouch up in the chair. Shit. Can we open and close Jardy's cell door so I could just hide in there?
yeah, you can totally do that.
It is open already.
Oh, that's true. So you guys can just toss the officer badge to Fallon. You kind of hop on in, and Merritt from the outside, you can like swipe it closed.
Mhm.
Okay. And so Val, you're trying to hide. Fallon, you're trying to hide. Saskia's trying to hide. Merritt, you're also trying to hide, like behind the officer.
Yeah, I'm trying to like crouch behind the chair.
Okay. So I will say, Val, go ahead and give me stealth check. Fallon and Merritt, you can roll yours at advantage. I'll say because you have like a lot of cover and stuff. Saskia, I'll say I won't roll for Elsa, but we'll say Saskia is hiding behind the desk.
How do you do that in one thing?
On
Oh.
the character sheet at the top, there should be the words advantage, disadvantage, automatic, and query.
So it
If you-
does. Okay.
Yeah. Automatic, it'll just roll one die. Advantage and disadvantage will roll advantage and disadvantage.
Cool. Thank you.
Of
Perfect.
course. There's
Uh,
also an option to secret roll if you want with the public and whispers. But
God.
And with that, I think Val, your stealth on an 8, not great. But it's not in that one. Okay, good. But Fallon, you've got a 19. Merritt, you've got a 20. As you all are hiding, an officer opens the door, takes a peek around, not seeing you, Val, because their immediate direction was to turn away from you, and just goes, "Really? Sleeping on the job again. I guess he's had a bunch of night shifts." And he's going to pause and then turn back outside and keep walking.
now we have an alibi for that guard. He's sleeping. They're not going to worry about him at the meeting. Everything's coming up Millhouse, guys. We've got this.
We're gonna be fine.
And you guys take a deep sigh, and a couple more minutes pass. And like, where are you waiting? Like, because you're waiting for this meeting to take place, where are you guys hiding until that happens?
I want to be able to keep an eye on the
Cameras. Okay.
so I can know exactly when people start leaving, so we can get to the door, do this as quick and quiet as possible.
You start to see, about 10 minutes. Yeah, I guess from here, another like 5 to 6 minutes pass. The time hits, and the chief looks up, kind of finishes typing something on a computer, and starts heading towards her door.
I check the hallways to make sure no one's walking in the hallways first, and then I motion for us to get to the door to the offices.
Does it say how long this meeting is scheduled to last?
It's about 10 minutes on the calendar.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Could I have extended it?
I mean, how far would you like to push it? Because
She would feel comfortable adding like maybe another 5 minutes.
okay, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Go ahead. I'll just call this a deception check on Merritt's part. Like, how smooth do you make these edits? How natural do you make them seem? Because you can look at some of the other meetings on the chief's calendar, see how similar it looks, how standard. Okay.
That's all right.
You see,
Thank God for my +7.
I'll say, because you guys have access to some of the cameras, you hear the chief call out, briefing about the butcher. Okay? Try and make it quick, wrap up a little bit early, but taking 10 minutes of your time, hopefully. And she makes her way to the door. Officers getting up, making their way over, and in that time, you guys can all, like, head on over here. As they start to file on in. As the detective gets ready for the presentation, chief up front, and the officers spread out here. You've got the badge from the unfortunately unconscious individual. Quick swipe.
Sliding.
You're in. As you watch the doors close on the other end, I'm going to ask everyone, go ahead and give me stealth checks at advantage as you start staying low to the ground and approaching the chief's room. 15. 13. 10.
Am I rolling so bad?
Your incognito counter goes from a 3 to a 2. But you continue to approach, and you see up ahead, it's the chief's room. Now, we are going to make a luck check to see if the chief locked her room on the way to the briefing or not. Okay. I'm going to say that it's on a 5 or lower, she did. But on a 6 or higher, she did not. Who would like to roll the luck check here?
I'm rolling way too low right now to make it.
I also feel like I'm rolling way too low.
Marie, if you want to take a swing at it.
Can I have advantage?
I'm going to say for this, because it's luck, it's just a pure, like, moment of the dice.
Okay, what am I rolling?
Just a
It's
d20.
a D20.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it.
It is a 4. Unfortunately, in this scenario, the chief did lock the door on the way out. You guys approach. You realize it's a locked door. What do you do?
Cry?
Can I try doing the data thing again with the
Yes.
thieves tool?
Yep. You can use the interface rig. You start getting in, and I'm going to say Saskia can give you an advantage here. Well, let me move
Okay.
it over as well.
All right, here's it goes. Bruh.
You start getting into the system. I did say on a 5, like within a 5, an alarm does not go off. An alarm does not go off here.
Okay.
But it does not succeed either. Fallon, do you want to take a swing as well with the data check instead of a technology check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
It's like, Val, you're trying to wire into the software, but you are like messing with the alarms to try and make the trigger a little bit harder. And on a 15, Fallon, with Val and Seski on the other end, messing with the hardware, you guys see a couple of the codes come up green. The chief's door swings open. Slides open, I should say. And you all can immediately start running in. And by the way, you can hear the presentation going on in the other room as this is happening. Do you guys close the door behind you as you're doing this?
Not yet. I still want to be able to hear what's happening in the meeting so that we can keep track of where they're at.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll say, Fallon, give me a perception check then. Just like a representation of how well you're actively listening in, just keeping an ear out. Okay. You guys see you are in a kind of a little bit cluttered office room. It's a corner office, not too fancy, but the chairs seem decent. Desk not too bad. And there's even a little couch here near the desk. It's a little hazy here. You realize it's from the cigarette smoke and a little bit of that kind of warm desk lamp lighting up the spot, but it's nighttime, so it's got very like kind of dim appearance here, and that haze stands out. You see very quickly, I think Fallon you'd recognize just because of like your proximity and what you saw before, some references to the butcher, maybe some copies of the files you acquired before. But what do you guys do as you get into the room?
I think Val's gonna just start looking for the evidence that we were trying to find on Yanis.
Okay.
The data pad.
Perception or investigation
Mhm.
checks for whoever wants to give a quick search.
I will give the help action.
Okay.
Cool. I do. I think since I'm already getting a help action. It's already advantage, but you could probably do a check, and we could say
Saskia can give
Saskia?
Fallon, yeah, advantage on a check as well. And I'll actually say, Fallon, if you want Saskia to help you with perception on keeping an ear out for something happening on the outside, or if you want Saskia's help on a new check for investigating the room.
I want to see how you roll first.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. On an 11. Val. You didn't need to be too high of a DC, it's just DC 10 to find a safe sitting behind the desk beside some of the drawers, cabinets, and desks.
How big is this safe?
Not too big. Think like a mini fridge-esque size. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like full size, but it's also not like a tiny... It's like this big. Maybe this tall. A small mini fridge.
Okay, because I looked at the mini fridge that we had right here. I was like, I don't know, man. That's like,
Yeah, I started thinking about it. I was
probably-
like, maybe that's a little too big.
yeah.
I'd say closer to some of the hotel safes. I think that's a better approximation. You know, the ones that are almost like one drawer size?
hmm
Like that.
Can Val very gingerly just try to move it a little bit, see if it's bolted down?
Yeah. I'll say, I mean, you're just checking if it's bolted. It's not bolted, it's just heavy.
Yeah, well, how heavy?
You want to give me an athletics check to see if you can pick this thing up?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Is that- yeah.
Oh, that was at advantage.
No
but,
worries.
I
We'll
mean,
take the leftmost. You're able. You realize, why bother cracking open the safe? You can just pick it up, and you are lifting the safe up, Val. Okay. And I guess as Val's doing that, Fallon, if you want to roll one more perception check, because we'll say Saskia's advantage goes to you for like keeping an ear out.
Advantage perception.
Okay. So you got
Alright.
some awareness. You know, it's not like they're being quiet on their end. You guys have the safe. Is there anything else you're looking for, or you decide it's time to book it now?
Can we just see if there's like any indication that the PDA is like still in this room and not in the safe, or just like one final sweep of the room?
Yeah. Up to you guys. Do you want to do physical investigation checks as a final sweep? Do you want to try and get into the chief's computer, see what she's messaged or written down, or even papers? Like, however you want to go about it. Investigation, data checks, perception.
Do I have any technology that I can try and download the most recent files that have been accessed onto? Just real quick.
Yeah, you can try.
Okay, I'm gonna hack into her computer, and the most recent things she was looking at, or the most recent files she opened, I'm just gonna copy those into my data pad
Okay.
before we leave.
Give me a quick data check just to see how well this goes.
Okay.
You're just grabbing
That
a
was
few things.
An 11.
It's not gonna grab anything, under any sort of security, but it's just like literal like downloaded file type stuff, like very insecure files. You're able to quickly grab. So you grab that. Anybody else doing any checks? Are you guys ready to head out?
Can we just say retroactively that like when Val found the evidence container and like with all the other people that were with, she also grabbed those as well. Instead of just like her glove and stuff.
Yes, yep. No worries. So technically, as of right now, Val, I'll say you can pass that off to Saskia. So Saskia's holding some personal effects, right, in like the bag or like a smaller box. Val, you're holding the safe, and technically, Fallon, you still have that evidence box of files that you're just also bringing along. So you got 3 out of 4 folks just carrying different things, ready to stick around or head out.
Barrett will have her gun ready to go. Finger off the trigger. She learned trigger discipline. But that is her contribution to everyone carrying stuff. She has her gun ready.
Okay.
And just like
Let's
that,
go.
you
I
guys
think we should leave.
turn
Mhm.
around,
I agree.
closing the chief's door. And I'm going to ask everyone give me one more stealth check as you make your way out this time. And I will say, Val, you are carrying a full-size safe. This will be, or not a full-size safe, but, you know, it's a heavy safe. You can carry it, no problem, but trying to be quiet while also lugging this along, I'll say disadvantage on your stealth check.
Oh, so
We're fucked. We're fucked.
Your incognito counter drops from a 2 to a 1. As you all are stumbling out of this room, and like I said, on a 0, you go into high alert. And so on a 1, you guys make your way out here. Merritt, you close the door as you hear somebody say on the other side, "Yeah, I'm just gonna get some water, I'll be right back." And you guys are out here in the hallway.
Shh.
As the door closes, you hear that. You start running, walking, what's the move?
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Run.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
We're
of,
the only people in the hallway.
all of you start running one more time as you're just stumbling, hitting a few things. Somebody inside the room goes, "What the hell? What's he doing out there?" And you all run, turning the corner. As like a second after turning the corner, you hear a door open down the hallway as an officer is making their way up to check, and you all rush out into the back of the alley. Give me 1 round of acrobatics or athletics checks as you're jumping back over the fence out the alley. Okay, you are able to get on over, lugging all these files, items, everything along, and as you jump out onto the streets, start rushing. And it's maybe
Rush it.
30 seconds out from the precinct, you hear the blaring of alarms and the sirens of different cop cars as you run off into the rainy streets, heading towards your ship. And I'm going to ask for 1 more round of checks, but this time you're out in the city. So the physical, carrying, all that stuff, that's not a worry, right? It's just about how quiet you are on your way back to your ship and getting out. Go ahead and give me, every one of you can make a single check. It can be stealth, it can be deception. If you have any other ideas of how you're doing this, like, you know, maybe some technology or data, you know, kind of sneaking. But the idea is how quiet your departure is on the way off planet.
Can I try acrobatics to try and carry everything and run like on the tips of my feet so that I'm quieter?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I leave a false trail with deception?
Yes, that totally works. Hell yeah.
I'd like to do intimidation in the concept that like anytime someone stops to look at us, Val is like staring daggers and like stops and like looks at them. It's like, you really like? I know I got shit in my hand, but like this can't be hooked at your head. Type of vibe.
Flexing so
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. Like just trying to keep like anyone that like looks at us like from not saying anything.
Okay, yeah. Especially that works well on like maybe the ordinary or even like the shadier citizens. Like, it's not something you should be talking about. That kind of look. Okay, go ahead and give me an intimidation check. 16, 16, and 15. You all make your way through the streets of Bastion on this rainy night as alarms are going off down maybe a couple blocks away. As you continue making your way out, cop cars, sirens are flaring up, different folks are moving around, and as you make your way onto the ship, getting your papers all in order, starting to board up, get the procedures going, some reports coming in from the local news, something about a murder at the precinct, escaped convicts, all sorts of security issues. But as you guys finish up, Fallon on the lead, the last set of startup procedures, your ship starts to take off and head out. As a few moments later, you pick up on your comms reports that they're closing down the Bastion starports for immediate investigations. But that's a few moments after. you've already left. And on your ship, plunking through space, you jump the void. And where are you heading now?
Back home? Can they track us after we jump?
Maybe not now, because you finish up those procedures, space begins to fold and peel back, and you all are void jumping out of here.
That was fun.
Sarah just lays down on the floor, face down. That was so stressful. But also so exciting.
Val
I
was
think
just
I like being a criminal.
Val just has like a piece of like fabric and she's just like binding it over her like gaping like stab wound on her chest. She's like, yeah, I mean it can be fun sometimes. It's a little bit sketchy at points. As long as you don't get arrested, it's entertaining.
Do you want help?
Maybe? Sure.
I'm gonna go over and I'm going to offer my help with like a medicine check. I can roll one myself, but I do have a -1.
I have
So
a,
I don't know.
I have a flat. It's just a flat check for me.
I mean, I will
I
say
don't know if you want merit. Rub it on your wounds with a -1.
you can give a medicine check. Let's see if this makes a faster short rest possible. You know what I mean? Like a little quicker attempt at an immediate short rest.
Alright. Me or Val?
Either one of you. Up to you guys. Well, one
Did
each
you
can
want to
roll.
give help for me, or since you have a
Oh,
negative
yeah.
one? Okay. That was better.
Okay. You are traveling through the void, and despite the discomforts of void travel, yeah, you're fine to take a short rest if you'd like to top. I'll actually say, if you're at void jumping back, it's like multiple days of travel. You can take a long rest right now, though,
Yes.
and just try and recover. And at 11, nothing bad happens, so you're not making it worse. You're just gonna get a little bit better.
And that needs to be
And
major.
that is a good call, because I was gonna say Val took that damage in one hit. I was like maybe playing around with a con save for a wound or not, but we'll say with that medicine check, you're all good to go. Take a nice rest. Now you guys are back in space. You got a couple days of void travel before you're back at Yokai. It's all good. Anything else you guys want to look over? Or are you just kind of like relaxing as the astronav that you guys have set up just takes you the rest of the way?
I'm gonna try and crack this safe, hopefully, before we get back to Yokai.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a what kind of checks are you guys going for?
Well, if this is just a normal like manual safe, or if it's like a fancy future electric safe.
It is like a more electric safe, but because it's a safe and not like a security system, you could always try the physical route. It's just really hard because it's a safe.
Mhm.
But you can also try like a technology attempt against this thing.
All right, I'm going to try and technology my way into the safe.
Okay. We'll say Saskia gives you advantage. Why not? You guys got a teammate here.
Hey.
Unfortunately, a 12 is still not enough. Nothing goes wrong, you're just not able to crack it.
And then Merritt just gives up on trying to open it and passes on, like, I guess a tool that she was using to Val. Because Val uses tools.
Val just goes, oh, okay, yeah. Let me take a look at it. It takes like the thieves tool thing that she has, little like deck, and I'm just gonna do tech check on it.
Hell yeah. $14. Pretty close. Unfortunately, not enough to open. But there's nothing going wrong. So I guess you guys are just taking different attempts to open this. What I'll say is for each day, each of you can make one technology check to try and open it up. And you've got like
Alright.
3 days of travel. Okay.
I do think it would be really funny if Merritt was just like, no, not that way. I tried that already. No, not this way. Try this way.
We're just like going in and trying every possible dial combination on the safe. All right. Rep it again.
It was
And
a
those
new
50
day.
work.
Yeah, another day. You guys can go ahead and roll once more.
Oh! What's that?
Okay,
22 will get you.
22. That is good. Okay. Let me double check, because I think you might be getting something here.
Have you heard back from what was his name? Overview?
Oversight?
Oversight?
Oversight.
Have you heard about? Have you heard?
I mean, you guys can
Oversight?
report it. What's happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's like the first thing we do as soon as we like jump get into hyperspace is we report to Oversight.
You report to Oversight. So we'll say you like let them know that you're trying to crack into the safe, and you're able to do so. You see the safe open up. There's a few like random, maybe personal effects to the chief, nothing too serious. But two things stand out. One is a financial data pad, seemingly evidence recovered from some sort of, doesn't seem to be Giannis related, something else. But it's got on it the equivalent of about maybe 750 credits. The thing is, it is like evidence, so you'd probably need a fence to find a way to like clean the money a little bit. So you can try and find somebody to do that, or maybe ask Oversight about it. But you know, usually you don't get the full money back, but hey, you know, some clean money's worth more than a whole bunch of dirty, right? That can be traced back. So you find that, but you also find interesting little contraption. It looks like a datapad deck, but across all its like kind of interface, diagrams, signals, suggests it's a storage device, but it looks pretty small, almost handheld. I'll say everyone can go ahead and give me Arcana checks actually on this one.
Hana. Thank you. Oh.
Foul. You actually have heard of this item. Because when we talk about technology, there's some that are very minimal Arcana, right? Because everything here is technically like an evolution of Magitech. This is something that's a little bit more juiced up as you look through some of the runes tied to the electrical configurations. This is a deck of holding. It is what looks like relatively small handheld like interface, like some sort of screen-like device. But you know that if unlocked, you can activate it to pull it apart to an extent and quite literally open up to an extra dimensional space. And you can go ahead
Like
and...
like an interdimensional locker.
Exactly. It
An
is
ender chest.
Yeah, it is something you can transfer. And you're, based off your check, you've heard usually something around like 500 pounds, maybe even half a ton, depending on the make. That's how much you can fit into one of these things. But this one does seem to be password protected. And it doesn't seem to be a personal password. You see it's like complex chain passwords. Like this is algorithmic password protection.
Can I try talking to it?
That's true.
With my nano machines?
Merrick can talk to technology. Yeah, go ahead. Give me a persuasion check, Merrick, as you're talking to this thing.
Alright. This does just look like Merritt is just like acting like an iPad maybe, just staring at it, muttering to herself. Nat 20.
Hell yeah, iPad baby mode, iPad baby.
Hell yeah.
Uh, what do you say to this? What do you say to
I
this then?
pick, yeah, I pick it up and I just kind of I look at it, and as I'm like touching the buttons and touching the touch screen, like connecting with it, I just go, "It's okay. You don't have to work with that nasty man anymore. You belong to us now. It's all okay." Just talking very sweetly to it, being like talking to like a scared pet.
And you see all those algorithmic revolving passcode systems start to slow down, chill out, simplify themselves. And I'll say between Fallon and Val, the two of you very easily from then on are able to finish like the job of getting in to the deck of holding.
Yeah.
And once it unlocks, I go, "Good job." I
And
say that to the deck.
just like that, you guys have made friends with a piece of technology and magic this deck of holding.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! We do have to name it now.
Reginald.
Reginald.
Reginald the Holder.
You see there is a set of detailed information, all sorts of files and holdings. There are details specifically about various contractors, previous firm-related missions and jobs, all sorts of information that could be damned, right? There's also some stuff about Giannis's recent job, but you can see that part's actually less detailed than some of the other stuff. Like, he almost didn't want to fully give away what was going on there. But it's just some general stuff about a more specific smuggling / raiding crew that operates with more like they themselves are like true like mercenaries / contractors, in that they're like just for hire, right? But it seems like they were making some bigger targets. Again, aiming for certain, at times, military technology. That's usually what some of these like groups will go after. That can be more potent, right? But there's a whole lot of details that are not included. Just some details about the smuggling crew. But there's something that wouldn't have found unless he hit a nat 20 right here. A key detail, Marin, that you pick up is a separate storage space hidden amidst some of the drudgery of data and files and items and trinkets that have been left in this deck of holding. But you realize it's actually maybe the most important because of what the deck of holding tells you. A sensation, vision, that this drove Giannis to search for safety with the BLO. And for a moment, Merritt, you see a vision. Somebody holding up a simple data pad. What you get the sense of is the owner, the user of the deck of holding. It's not Giannis, it's somebody else, but vision shifts and you see they're arguing with Giannis, pointing to a data pad. And as they turn, Giannis plunges a knife into their back. Despite all the other records here, it's this ordinary, scuffed-up looking datapad that has important information, more than any of the others giving away contract firm details and jobs. And as you look into that datapad, the deck of holding helping you along the way, it's encoded details from Giannis, stating that he's been giving off information, including about the recent job. Not just the BLO. Now, that was recent. The real money to be made was selling that data off to somebody else. And there's no name. The only detail about who this data was being sold to is the single word written. The diner. You see that word diner written as the target.
Okay.
But it seems like that's somebody he's been selling information off to. And there's another detail about... It seems like Giannis was actually planning on turning and working for them. So their whole idea with the BLO was a temporary stopgap. You know what I mean? It's like, look like he's getting into protective custody, escape, and work for this diner. Or whoever the codename diner is for. And the way he mentions it here, it seems like they're on the up and up. Some other criminal enterprise maybe that's growing. This is all information that might have taken days, if not weeks, of sifting through the algorithmic passcodes that you guys crack in about a day and a half. As you're traveling through open space looking at this, is there anything you guys say or do after like looking through the details and data?
I tell them the vision I saw of Giannis murdering the owner of the data pad.
Just off rip with that information, can Val do a history check to see if I have even ever heard of the diner in
Yep.
any way, shape, or form?
You guys can go ahead, make history checks, all of you if you'd like, about the like some criminal association with the word diner.
That makes sense, yeah. That tracks.
Is that a nat 20 again? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I promise it is. It's
No.
not showing the green, but
I know, yeah.
the modifier on history is 3.
No, I know. I'm like checking just to make sure. I'm always like, oh my god, I see the 20. What the heck? Okay. Jeez. Nat 20 on nat 20. Fallon, there is something that immediately clicks in your mind. A place you've heard about in your time, traveling through the rougher edges of space. Because it's when, in the details, that Merritt mentions, oh, Giannis was planning on joining, it's a growing enterprise. There's a little bit of like a whisper. Sort of smuggling, black market, like criminal enterprise, like the if you know type of knowledge. There's a diner out near core space. Sepulchre territory. Well, it kind of ranges. Because it's not a station atop a planet, it's a starship. A diner to all those who pass by, but an information broker to all those who know. Squengy's Diner is the name. Famous for...
Entry.
Yeah, famous for their... well, actually, I have to pull up what they're famous for. Hold up. Because you rolled nat 20. I gotta tell you what the diner's famous for.
Also, if you go to your sheet settings, there is a toggle for show natural 20s and 1s and all d20 rolls.
Oh, and it is, they're famous for their star beef patties, their mushroom melange, and their comet tail milkshakes. So it's got good food, decent service, but that's not really what you're after there. For the people who know, it's an information broker for all sorts of criminal enterprise, operations, jobs, missions, details. If you need info, you need data, it's there. And it looks like maybe they might be trying to bite into firm territory and firm operations as well.
I don't think we should tell Oversight about this. And she points to like the whole thing with the diner. Just yet.
Maybe we just don't tell him about the deck.
But the deck is our evidence that he was gonna sell that information to the BLO.
True. How do we keep this part from him then? If it's in the deck.
Can Merritt just kind of get that data out of there and like erase all traces that it was there?
I mean, yeah, so the deck of holding, it's a physical interdimensional space, so you can just go in, take that specific data pad out, and put it away.
Okay, perfect.
Question is if you want to keep this hidden from oversight or not.
I think we should, just for right now. Because we don't know. We don't know if Giannis was doing this because the firm was trying to get rid of him already.
Right.
If the firm is trying to get rid of Giannis and anyone that goes against them, we could be next in line because we know all this stuff now.
Yeah, but also knowing this and not turn it in does kind of guarantee our spot a little bit more. I'm all for hey, let's take it out. Let's not turn it in right now. Let's keep it as an ace up our sleeve.
Yeah.
And then we can say whenever we feel like we may want to turn it in, we can say, hey, found this recently in that deck of holding. Don't know how it was hidden in there, but we found it.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree.
And not too long after, he comes into oversight. A familiar voice steps on in to speak. Wonderful news. I am excited to hear that you've all survived and succeeded. A stellar performance. Now, to confirm, you all were able to complete your background checks and destroy your records. You were able to retrieve the records of other contractors under BLO investigation, deal with our former employee, Giannis, and retrieve the information he was planning on providing to the BLO. Do I have these details correct, or have I missed any of your accomplishments?
No,
We-
that sounds like it.
We also did it mostly undetected right up to the end. There shouldn't be any evidence of that it was us that were involved in this, though.
So we shouldn't show up on cameras at all.
Indeed. I've been confirming against the local news reports and camera footage. You have left minimal traces, and the BLO is instead investigating an escaped criminal by the name of Girdo from the station. Your names have not appeared. Now,
That's why we let her out.
Yeah.
To take the blame.
your compensation for this operation will go through once you return to Yokai and provide your evidence. But I can give you a preemptive update on what your payment will look like.
What's that update?
For the completion of your background checks, you've provided sufficient evidence. Your individual accounts will immediately receive 150 credits each. For dealing with Giannis the Hyena and terminating our former employee, recovering the information from the BLO, and retrieving information regarding the other contractors under BLO investigation, this has been an exemplary performance. Top of the new recruits. You all, in total, under your joint account, will be receiving 3,000 credits.
Alright, so we have individual accounts and then a group account?
Yeah. Effectively, you guys can treat it like what you're tracking on your personal character sheet versus like party loot. Kind of like the distinction there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Now, the 3,000 is going to go through once you return to Yokai 4, because, Oversight still needs the actual evidence, all that kind of stuff, but you will be receiving the 150 credits immediately to your accounts.
Beautiful. Before Oversight leaves, Merritt's gonna kind of raise her hand, because she still isn't sure if he can, like, actually see them or not. So she's, like, waiting to see if he calls on her.
Yes. Contractor Merritt. Please speak.
Of course. Do you know a way to get money from a data card to a different one? Kind of clean it up a little?
Indeed. The firm does offer financial sanitation services. If you ever find any datapads in need of cleanup, provide it to the firm, and we can go ahead and provide the sanitized credits to your accounts, individual or joint.
And is there a fee for this?
Depending on the nature of the datapad, but on average the firm cuts about 25 to 35%.
Alright, thank you.
How much was on that data pad again?
$7.50.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. Merritt is just talking out loud, mostly to herself, but also to the people that are listening. So if I can figure out how to do it myself, it'll be free. But I don't know how to do that just yet. I need to figure that out. What if I can get a job at a bank? No.
Well, I don't know how you'd be able to get a job at the bank while we're still doing contracts like this. Unless you're doing something like online, and then also if you get a job there and you start asking how to launder money, I think they're going to be a little bit mad.
And this is why I run my ideas by people. Because everyone has so many good ideas.
We could always just use that 750 from the datapad. Yokai Flux isn't exactly the cleanest of places.
But then it'll be a direct link from the robbery to where we live.
True. We could trace that. Could Val think back to anyone she might know that might be willing to give a better deal?
Yeah, you can try, Val. Go ahead and give me a history check. I'll say, yeah, you can try. I mean, the firm is specialized in this, and part of it is the scale, right? Somebody who doesn't move a lot of money, it's more difficult to clean money. But the firm is a space corporation, right? It's, in fact, it's quite literally an interstellar space corporation. So it operates across not just the hegemony, other places. The amount of money they're moving, you assume that your datapad is just a drop that they're adding to an already existing sanitation service. This is money they're probably cleaning out tens of thousands of credits at a time, not just 750.
Gotcha.
So the efficiency and the rate might be better here.
Oh, okay. So this actually isn't bad for laundering?
Yeah, not bad. Just because, again, they have so much more scale, they can work more efficiently. And you're contractors, right? So you're getting a little bit better deal. From what you've heard, usually when you're dealing with the firm, it's closer to 40%. And sometimes small-time folks, it's 50% cut.
Oh, yeah. So Val will kind of just pipe up. It's I mean, there's always ways that we could try to save some money. We could bounce around to different spots and try to launder it ourselves in some way, or spend it directly at different locations, and maybe that way we can get a no cut. But honestly, what they're offering us isn't bad from what I've heard before. I think they charge normal people about 40, and then small time people, it's if you're just coming in off the street, it's about 50.
And it's not even that much. So they might even just take the lower amount.
Yeah.
Merritt does not know how this works.
It's not a crazy amount with how much they probably launder or sanitize normally. I just don't know how they scale it. Is it more for smaller amounts, or is it less for smaller amounts? But I mean, either way, it's not really that bad of a deal.
Okay.
And
We'll send it in with the evidence.
Yeah.
Add it to the group fund.
Fair option as you guys kind of continue traveling along. Now, this happened on your second day, so you continue to chill out. You're discussing different like people ideas on like cleaning of money or sanitation of the money. Going by pretty good. Getting close to the third day of travel. Yeah, you guys, you cracked open the case, the fiscal case. So, not a whole lot as you're kind of just looking over the data, looking over the other contractor contacts and like information and evidence as you're traveling through.
Can I grab my folder? I want to study what they have on me.
Yeah. In fact, I will say, do any of you want to give, because Fallon was the one that actually grabbed this stuff, would any of you note a detail about anything they might have that Fallon would have seen? Or, I think you guys kind of already talked about how you got booked, so it might just be that, hey, the information there was pretty spot on to what you've already kind of told each other.
Well, it depends on how they like notate information about the prisoners.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah, I kind of want to see if they have anything about my past as well.
okay. What I'm gonna say is everyone go ahead and roll deception checks, because this is how well you kept information hidden during your booking, right?
Easy. Easy. Merritt loves lying.
Oh my god.
Nothing.
Is that your third or fourth nat 20?
I think it's
That's
the
my
third.
third.
Yeah. So, I will say for merit, what the file's showing for you, yeah, it's how you got in trouble. There's a key detail that isn't included.
Okay.
Just the local, like the most recent stuff. That's how you got picked up, so nothing too bad. Fallon, I'll say on a nat 20, they got just about your crime that got you booked, and that's really it. They don't know much about you. They just were like, yeah, something about the retrofitting job, and that's it.
Gotcha. They didn't link me to anything else.
No. You
Okay,
can
cool.
see that was marked off as something to continue investigating, but they kind of marked it's like the notation in the comments left about Fallon. It's almost like the way they talk about Fallon is like, there's not much else there. And you kind of recognize that the BLO treated you in a way like a nobody. Somebody caught up in the system, and in fact, you realize that your crime got upscaled by some of the, effectively, you were treated to a harsher sentence than you needed to be.
Oh yeah.
Retrofitting a ship, just getting sent to Black Post, those aren't really the usual chain. And what I'll say is this. It doesn't feel like a secretive element of like somebody in specific wanted you in Black Post. What you get the idea of is putting you in Black Post helps hit a quota. They said, let's just push them up a little bit. So you might have found yourself spending years in that prison for a crime that didn't deserve. And Val,
Gotcha.
on a 10, they got a decent amount of information on you. It is not first or second run-in with hegemony like law enforcement, so it's like, there's a couple. Not too far back in terms of dates, but a couple interactions for sure.
I would imagine it's mostly just like bar fights, like, spent like a night or two like in the sink at like some like dingy bars or somewhere, and then I think like if there's like a lot of information on Val, there might be like a note there that mentions like their brother. It's like, it seems like they got off pretty easily on some other ones because the officer that took her in knew her brother, and that got her some ease.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, yeah, it's just like petty shit. Probably it's just like a bar fight, like maybe like a cop saw her like snatching like a wallet from like a drunkard in the street, and they're just like, hey, you can't do that. She's like, oh, okay, fine, tosses it back, like that type of shit.
Yeah. Val, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Oh boy.
There's a really curious note. Because Fallon specifically mentioned she grabbed all the files that seemed interesting. So that includes some stuff not directly related to you guys, but, you know, anything that seemed relevant, important, associated, maybe in the same folder. There's a file about somebody very familiar to you. Pax. Only thing, though, that's a little odd isn't the crimes or like previous, you know, relevant information investigations. It's what's next to the word status. Because it doesn't say
What?
dead. It says unknown.
Val is going to very discreetly like slip that away into a pocket. Like she is hanging on to that. She is gonna do some digging.
Can I be nosy and roll an insight check to notice?
Sure.
It's not gonna be good. Yeah,
Val stone cold. No expression.
I'm too absorbed in my own folder.
Yeah. Yeah, like you guys are all like, oh, what do they have on me? How far did they get? Yeah, just an odd detail. But nothing else really written on it. And yeah, you guys are traveling through space as you're kind of taking a look through your file. Anything you guys call out to each other about your files or anything like that?
Merritt just sets hers aside. Like she looked through it, didn't really see anything important, just set it aside. She's not even guarding it or anything. But she is gonna look through the rest of the files and see if she recognizes any names or anything.
Yeah, Fallon's just gonna read basically that it was a nothing case and they had basically nothing on her and just kind of did it to meet a quota, and she's gonna get a little pissed off and throw it to the side and try to take a second to look through the box and see if she can find anything else interesting, but just get really upset and then just go back to the pilot bay and sit there and go from like an auto to a manual and just fly the ship.
Yeah. Pretty easy out in space to get lost in the kind of hustle and bustle of everything going around and kind of thinking about how quick that was to happen to you. And I'll say, Merritt, you recognize Karixar's name? So you see that he has a file. It's a lot of, how do I say? It's not actually a lot of light jobs like theft or anything like that. It's a lot of killing. A lot of it. Yeah. Like a lot of taking out competing smugglers, criminals, people who didn't bend the knee to the firm, you know, quote unquote, helping along with acquisitions.
He's not one of he's the heavy hitter they sent out.
And it's not like, I mean, you saw him in action. It's not like he's not stealthy, but you realize his specialty is still just more killing. So he's part of the mergers and acquisitions team.
Murders and executions. Got it.
Yeah. Pretty much. And as you guys are out here, Felon, you get a beep up in the help. Comms is pulling in a relay.
I don't like when the music changes. What kind of beep?
It's actually odd because for the first bit, you hear it's 3 short beeps, 3 long beeps, and then 3 short beeps again. As part of the signal.
SOS.
It's an SOS.
And you see something else like coming through as well. If you want to try and hit the comms, there's at least some sort of message attached.
Yeah, I want to do that. As soon as she hears the SOS, she's doing that.
You kind of sit up, hit through the commands, and it's a automated message coming. It's not like a person talking, but it's like a automated message coming through. And you see kind of electronic voice starts to speak. Mayday. Mayday. This is a cargo vessel of Monarch Industries. We are under attack by pirates. Please respond and provide assistance. Mayday, mayday. And it like continues to cycle through.
Would I recognize that like ship or that cargo company? Like would I like
Monarch Industries. Go ahead and give me history checks. Not too much stands out. Just seems to be like, but in that way, you don't think it's like some like super big corporation, right? But it also doesn't seem to be like maybe like things that you'd be familiar with. Just maybe one of dozens of ordinary or hundreds of ordinary corporations out here in hegemony space. And well, to be fair, you guys are at the edge of hegemony space at this point.
okay. Can I send a message back?
Yeah, what would you like to say?
What's our Did we decide a ship name?
We have not.
Ooh.
How do we
The
feel about
last resort.
Starlight?
Starlight's cute.
I like Starlight.
Okay, just as a placeholder, I'm gonna get on the comms and like respond to their message. This is the SS Starlight responding. Please send your coordinates through.
Okay. Immediate responsive coordinates. It's almost like automated. Like just you sending a signal back, coordinates are sent out. And you see, because you picked it up, you are along the trail, right? The astronaut, you'd have to come out of astronaut for a second to repilot, but it's not too far off course after all. Like the signal's even reaching you.
Could it be the pirates we faced on our way to Bastion?
I mean, you were friends with them, right?
Yeah. So if it is, we can't really do anything to help.
Yeah. I don't think we'd want to get involved in that.
It doesn't hurt to check, but
True.
we might have to run as soon as we get there.
Yeah, our ship's also really only fitted to make it to this job and back. So, I mean, we can see if we can lend a hand, but
It's up to you, Captain. And she looks to Fallon.
Alan is just kind of replaying this SOS message in her head. And she's having a hard time trying to decide what the best course of action is and whether or not she's willing to risk her team for this cargo ship, but she also has been in the position of that cargo ship and knows what they might be facing. And so she's really torn, and I don't think she really knows what to do. I don't think there's anything we can do.
Sometimes the best option is just move on.
She'll sort of flick off the comms.
I'll say, as you're going to do that, Fallon, you see more messages coming through. Shields are down. Hull is taking damage. It's a non-combat freighter. You go ahead and turn off the comms and continue on your journey.
She's not willing to risk the safety of her crew. So she's gonna turn off the comms and just get really quiet. And there's just like she's trying really hard not to cry, and like there's very obviously her eyes are watering and her face is getting red, and she's just focused really hard on navigating through open space.
Okay. Your comm beeps as a few more messages are sent towards you.
Fallon, Merritt will stand next to the comms and make sure she turns like the notification sound down, and just like quickly like exits out of them so Fallon doesn't get more upset.
Okay.
I think Val just kind of like. I'm assuming we were all kind of like in the cockpit area talking about this, and Val will just give a pat to Fallon's shoulder and then turn around and go try to find something to do on the ship that needs fixing.
Okay. You all fly past. Continuing on through your void jump, heading towards Yokai Flux, and it's a whole another day left. As you sit here thinking, the hours trickle by. But eventually, receive the notifications not from the ship, you're long past that, but instead from your astronav, the kind of results and details you plugged in, returning back signals that your target destination is arriving soon. Eventually, space begins to return to normal semblance. The thousands of stars no longer streaking across the surface, and instead the void taking hold once more as you arrive outside Yokai Flux. This one. As your ship, the for now call sign Starlight, begins to dock on Yokai Flux, the familiar station, coming closer and closer to view, you guys head on off. You find yourselves here in the Star Docks. And I think I might have forgotten to mention last time, but real quick, because I think you talked to somebody that works here, but you would have figured out that there's a head engineer here by the name of Lethy. So that's the main engineer at Yokai Flux Star Dock, so that's generally who you go towards for any ship-related stuff, but for usually just repairs and fuel. Just a quick call out, but otherwise, yeah, you guys keep moving along through this station. Is there anywhere in specific you head to?
We should head to our... Where can we contact oversight? Would it just be our rooms?
You would have a secure terminal in your room.
Okay, I think that's the best bet. We could even hawk the safe if we want, earn a couple of credits.
And what I'll add too is you have a secure terminal for anything electronic in your room. The way Oversight kind of talked to you guys last time, you get the idea if it's physical, you might want to stop by with the bartender. Like Riff might be like your kind of in-person firm contact.
I think that's a great idea. I think, okay, Merritt offers this plan to the group. We go to the room, we send a quick message to Oversight saying we returned. We're gonna talk to Riff. He should get the things to them shortly. And then we go to Riff and we get a drink. Because it has been a fucking day.
Val seems like Val just kind of like nods in agreement.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So you guys stop by the bar first. Familiar sight of a cybernetic individual standing behind the counter, looking over at all of you. Same single task automaton, hard at work cleaning up all the kind of plates and beer mugs, glasses, and the like. You also see same old Riff from before. Kind of look over, give you guys a nod. Welcome back. We're all in one piece. Too bad for a first time out contractor. And kind
You
of
should see the other guy. And Merritt looks to her friends to see if they laugh.
I think
And
Val
if they
kind of like
don't,
gives like
that's fine.
a smirk and just like picks up the drink and just takes a sip and nods and just kind of like looks at the bartender. It's just like, yeah, she's not lying. You should see the other guy.
And yeah, I'll say, speaking of drinks, you see Riff passes over 3, kind of shots over. 1 to each of you. I will note, real quick, I think Val, you might catch this, being the most kind of familiar with these settings. The drink sent to Fallon is a little different than what's sent to Merritt and Val.
So, are you giving her well, or are you giving her something special? What's up with that?
A little bit stronger. Just look like you might need it.
Val
Merritt
nods.
takes a sip from her shot. Ooh,
Fallon's
strong.
just gonna raise her glass to the bartender, tap it on the table, and shoot it real fast.
Oh, okay.
Val sneaks in a tink with Fallon, and then like with just hand signals, just points to. At first, points to herself and Fallon, but then also just kind of does like all of them, and then to herself to say like, "Hey, all those shots, if they're need to be paid for, it's gonna be on me."
On the house for the first round. Don't you worry. And all of you go ahead and give me con saves.
Oh, I rolled the wrong one too. My bad.
No,
Sorry.
Damn.
Okay, so Merritt and Val succeed by such a high margin, you take 0 levels of drunkenness. You're just solid all the way through. But Fallon, I think you do kind of feel a little bit of strong stuff, and just kind of the way things go right now, it just hits a little different. So you're taking on 4 levels of drunkenness off it's strong stuff. When Riff said strong, he was not kidding.
Nice.
It's strong. So that one shot alone, some sort of Luxayan sake, but extra concentrated,
Mm-hmm.
gives a hard knock.
It's like mint sake, like half mint sake, and the rest is just rumple mints.
And it's something, I mean, it doesn't taste bad, but that's almost like, it takes you a second to be like, oh, it's hitting all at once. But you guys,
Fallon's just gonna take her hair down and like cross her arms on the desk in front of her, or the table in front of her, and just kind of put her head down. Just, I don't even want anymore.
One, and you're already leaning on the bar top.
Shut up, Val.
Merritt
Val
places
just-
her hand on Fallon's back, and it's the softest caress she can give. It's just soft circles in the middle of her back as she's like laying down.
She's gonna sniffle and be like, "Thank you, robot."
I'm not a robot, but okay.
Val looks to the bartender and says, like quietly, just between the two of them, like, some sort of greasy food and a water, and I will cover it.
yeah, let me see if I can pass that along.
I'll have what she had. Thank you.
You're talking
Food
about
wise,
the food?
drink wise.
Drink wise.
Drink wise. He goes, okay. First round's on me. Second one will cost you 10 credits if that's all. So he slides one over to you, Merritt. And he's gonna go and head on over. This detail, let me check. Because you see, he gives the single task automaton like an order, sends it on its way, and it's gonna head on over to the kitchen, which isn't like right beside the bar, it's a little bit off. And you see it goes, and you guys catch sight of who the cook here the chef on Yokai Fluxes, you see gnarled, old, scaly skin that kind of sags a little, that clings its way out of a hard-looking shell. As a turtle stands there, takes the order, looks at it, says, kind of grumbles to himself, and goes back kind of behind the that little counter area into the kitchen to start cooking. And Riff will also kind of look back and say, if you ever find anything special, Yozo can whip up a lot more mean meals than just what we've got here.
Wonderful.
And yeah, you've got the shot merit of the special stuff.
Mara is gonna go to sip it, and then she's like, "No, that's not how you drink this." So she taps it, throws it back.
Go ahead and give me a con save. Okay, that is actually a success, but it's barely a success. So rather than taking 4 levels of drunk, you take 2. You're still feeling something, but holding on.
Oh. This is fun. Oh,
Val-
Riff, we have some stuff. And I keep trying to call myself Fallon. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to steal your identity, I guess. Mary is gonna fumble in her bag for the deck of holding. She tries like 3 or 4 times and finally gets it out.
Okay. Passing it along.
And she also pulls out the data chip with the money on it. She goes, I also need this. Thank you.
Got it. Sanitation services, and then this is a drop off for oversight. Okay. Now, runners should be coming up. Usually come up every 8 hours. So.
Can we, taking our personal folders out of the box of evidence, can we put that box in the deck of holding?
Yeah, you can. Because you kind of already told Oversight you got other contractor stuff out as well.
Yeah.
He just kind of gives a nod. If there's any payment with this stuff, should be coming through whenever the runner picks it up. So, probably like another half day or so. They're usually
Right,
pretty
sounds
quick
good.
once it's verified. Just gives a nod. And you see another figure step up to the bar, kind of hop up actually because they're a little shorter, and call for another hit of the strong stuff. And you see it's a halfling fellow. He's got a little jacket with a crescent moon symbol. Where he goes, yeah, if some of the newbies are having it, I suppose I can as well. Pass me some of the stuff, Riff.
What does your symbol mean?
Oh, this thing, for me and my crew. Moonlighters. Kind of points back, and you see there's 2 other folks sitting on one of like the common room kind of lounge, like, like chairs around a table. And you see 2 other folks. They're armor adorned with crescent symbols. You guys recognize them as the mercenary group you saw last time you came by. The person in front of you is a halfling. There's some kind of armored up individual who looks to be a lizard folk. And there's just a green blob as the 3rd individual.
Merit wave.
You wave. You see the lizard folk individual kind of gives you a nod as she goes kind of back to like a data pad. And the amoeboid just kind of turns like a key kind of component within the mass. Like it's just like a semi-spherical shape just sort of rotating. And it just kind of bounces a little bit, the blob.
And Merit just kind of bounces in her chair as well.
But yeah, you remember these were the folks for that night ship out by the docks.
Yes. The ship we thought was ours.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys are chilling, drinking here. Fun little fact for your drunkenness limits. Like if you hit this limit, you do pass out, you black out. It is your con +1, parentheses, ×2. So,
22.
con
Just
modifier, like your modifier.
On
+1.
modifier. Okay.
So
I was about to say, like, man, that's a really high number.
Yeah, no. So I think actually Fallon, even though that one shot hit, actually has a I think 8 limit.
He's only half drunk.
Halfway, though.
Yeah.
Halfway to
I'm-
blackout.
That is a lot.
Halfway to blackout. So I'm slurring a little bit, and I'm mostly just being emo, but she's not passed out yet.
No, yeah. So you're still good. What is Merit and Val's con modifiers for quick reference?
I have a
Minus,
+2.
I have a +3.
Okay, so Val has also got a tolerance of 8, and Merit, yours is a 6. Got it. So yeah, you guys are pretty tough. Pretty tough. So a couple drinks ain't too bad. Yeah, you're just chilling here in the common room. Anyone else you're looking for? Anything else you're doing as we're just chilling here and taking some drinks?
Merritt is fine just chilling unless there is either karaoke or live music playing.
They've got recorded music, but I'm gonna say, let's just see if Yokai Flux. I would actually say they probably have a karaoke, but it's something busted up and not really used. You could try fixing it up if you want to have a go.
She only really notices that stuff if someone else is doing it.
Okay, so for now it's like just
So-
some corner of the room that's not really there.
Yeah, if someone mentions it to her and she's like, "Oh, wait, I can fix it," she might be interested. Or if someone fixes it and does it. But yeah,
I think what Val is gonna do is she just got some very interesting information, and she wants to go and bother people about it. So what she's gonna do is order another shot and then order like a sipping drink. She's a service worker. This is just what she does. Downs the shot, and then she picks up the sipping drink and goes over to like some sort of game. Like if there's pool here, that's probably where she would head to. Credit in for a play, and then whoever she starts playing with, she's just gonna be like, after chatting them up a little bit, playing a little bit into the game, like halfway through, she's just be like, "Hey, seemed pretty cool so far. I hope this doesn't make you hate my guts, but I got a quick question for you." She pulls out the picture of Pax and it's like, "Have you ever seen this guy before?"
Drug.
No.
And you recognize these are just a couple of like, maybe like not even like full contractors, just like true, free agent like mercenaries. And it's just a pair of them who kind of shrug.
Okay.
Can't say we have.
All right. Well, I don't think it'll ever come up, but my name's Val. If you ever do run into him, firstly, don't put up a fight, and secondly, whenever you can, tell me that you ran into him.
You kind of shrug. Yeah, sure. Happy to pass it along.
Fallon is also gonna order another shot. She's gonna say, "Hey, Riff, I'll take another one, and also I have a question for you."
Go ahead. Feel free to share it out.
What how long would it take to get a message from here to Terra? Is it called Terra? The planet?
Yeah, you're trying to go for Terra. Let me double
Hi,
check.
Sarah.
You're going for a high Terra. That is... It's not the furthest, actually, because you guys are already, like, not too far from hegemony space. Maybe depending how much you're willing to pay. It could be a day or two to a week.
Okay.
And it depends on how specific it is, right? Again, you got signals and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes messages can go by pretty fast depending on what you're saying, who you're saying it to. Right? What do you think about like news and broadcasts? Targeted messages a little sometimes more difficult.
Gotcha. She'll just nod and then take her shot.
And then Val, for the 2 drinks you're adding on, are these the strong stuff or just chill stuff?
I think these were just the chill stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you failed both, so you're now at 4 levels of drunkenness.
Oh god.
And then Fallon, are you taking another shot of the strong stuff?
I'll take the chill stuff.
Okay. That is unfortunately a fail, so that's another 2, so you're at 6 out of 8.
Okay. I'm gonna stand up.
Merritt
A
is there to
little
catch you if
wobbly.
you fall.
Just be like, okay. I'm going to bed. She's just gonna try to make her way back to the room, and she's like stumbling and like
Meredith-
leaning on the wall as she walks.
Merritt is gonna rush up to you and just kind of put her arm around your like upper back, like under your arms to try and hold you up. I don't know how tall Fallon is, but
I'll say, when you stumble, Fallon, on your way out, somebody does help you, Merritt, in keeping Fallon up for a moment. You look up and you see a breathtakingly beautiful woman with a set of kind of twin, almost obsidian horns coming out the top of her head. And she kind of smiles up. Careful there. Don't want any of your pretty faces getting hurt.
Wow, hi. And Fallon's just gonna go real red.
Hi there.
thank you.
I remember seeing you both just a few days ago. You're looking to be regulars here, or is this maybe even your new home?
Yeah, we're
Can I
staying
make an
here.
insight check on this woman?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Do I do anything because my 2 levels of drunkenness?
It's just -2 to your check.
Oh, okay.
17
that's
still pretty
17.
good. I think what you pick up on a 17, you actually realize it's really hard to read this thing. The slightest thing you pick up is... It's like the slightest tinge of a cross between hunger and excitement looking at both of you. Oh, then maybe one of the few to welcome you to this beautiful Hearth Station. I'm a regular here myself. Kind of offer my services.
And what
Sure.
services are those? Friend.
She kind of puts a hand out to almost like shake and like greet you as well, Merritt. Because you realize at this moment she's only helped Fallon up, but like it's like a hand touches yours. Very gentle, like almost handshake. The financial kinds. I like to say that I deal in dreams and ambitions. Money's just a way to get there. And I want to do my best in making sure everyone gets their dream.
Fallon's gonna get a little shifty-eyed toward this lady. Be like, huh, okay. Maybe you're not as hard as I thought you were, but, she's gonna get a little shifty-eyed, put her arm around Merritt. Be like, yeah, we'll see you around, maybe. Maybe.
Maybe we can get lunch sometime. We'll call you. And Merritt starts walking Fallon away.
Go ahead, both of you. Just give me quick. I think the best example here would be wisdom saving throws.
What?
Fortunately, I think, look, Fallon, even your drunkenness is a little bit of that like tension that you described. Merritt, it's like maybe it's the moment when you shook hands, but something about her was just a little special. Like a person you feel like you might only see once in your lifetime, but never forget. And she just smiles and waves, heading the other way.
Merritt is silent for the rest of the night.
But yeah, I will say, as you're doing this, Val, because, you know, so if you're paying good attention, yeah, not too far away, Val, you kind of catch this and you're like, yeah, that's the Cabal broker. You're just like, mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Not too hard to put that together.
I'm kind of watching and I'm just like, do I see anything that looks like a deal going on? No. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to the bartender about my brother now.
Okay. And real quick, what I'll note is from some of the chatter and other stuff, like the time you guys have spent previously at Yokai Flux 2, it's a soul broker, but again, that's if you're willing to trade your soul, but they'll take anything. Any sort of deals, trades, or even sometimes something just as dangerous as selling your soul, loans. They offer all kinds of financial services. And yeah, you go back to, like, the two of you, Mary, you're helping Fallon go back to the room. Val, you're going up to Riff at this moment. He's just kind of giving you a nod.
And she just walks up and goes, "Hey, I think my friends are calling it a night, so I probably should too. But did want to ask you, I don't think you'd ever come through here before, but you ever heard of a bounty hunter named Pax before? Anyone talking about him?"
Riff kind of leans back. That name does seem familiar. Nothing too recent jogging my mind, but somewhere in there.
Right.
Must have made a decent name then. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, something like that.
Does that line up with my timeline? Like, would that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Heard. Yeah, I think I knew him. Like that. Well, heard about him. Didn't know him. I think he moved out of hegemony space then. Pursuing work somewhere else, probably.
All right. Well, if you ever hear anything else about that name come up, just please let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I can ask around. Got a little network of my own. Heck.
She just kind of nods and then appreciate that. How much did I owe you?
For these things, I think you took 2 more shots. 6 credits.
There's also the food that I paid for.
You can just add 4 more and call it an even 10.
All right. Cool. Val will pay that out and head to the room as well.
Okay. So all of you head back out. And you are... Yeah, you all are good to go as you head on back. And you finally get another long rest, but this time in the comfort, sort of comfort, of your rooms here in, well, your room in Yopad Flux. By the time you wake up the next morning, there is a notification, an update to your joint bank account from the firm. You have received 3,000 credits, as previously discussed.
How comfortable are our rooms?
Not very.
Okay. Just the basic
it's
resting.
basic functionality, yeah. It's not like anything too nice like that.
I would love to look into a ship upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
We should get our ship up and running, like,
Yeah.
fully first.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys can take a swing around looking for, you know, what can you do about any sort of, like, you have the arms dealer from before, you've got the armor, Renami, the arms dealer, where did I put it down? I think it's Vigley. Yeah, Vigley. You got folks like that. You're talking to Letty now. You see, it's like a kind of broad, you know, kind of heavy set looking work individual. Got a little bit of the beer belly going. He's kind of working out here, greased up like shirt and stuff. As you're looking to check out the ship, kind of turns on over. Hey
Don't we
there.
owe,
Sorry, go for
don't
it.
we owe somebody money?
I
Ah,
owe Quigley 70
yes.
credits.
I think I also owe Quigley 70 credits.
Bigly.
Yeah, I think you
Vaguely.
guys paid 35 up front, and you were gonna pay
Yes.
35 after. So if you marked off 35 before, then you only need to mark off 35 this time.
Okay.
You're able to send it
So-
to his account.
We got how many in our individual accounts?
150 in your individual accounts.
Okay, so minus 35 is...
In terms, and while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and double check our ship stuff. You guys are looking for.
Can I sell Vigley my phaser?
Your phaser? Oh yeah, if you guys want to sell stuff, you totally can.
Yeah, it is, like, we did get it from the prison transport ship. So I don't know if that matters, but I would like to sell it if I can.
Yeah, you totally can. I mean, he's an arms dealer and a fence, so that's his specialty. Your phaser will go for. Where do I put it? You can get partial money back, so we'll call this 25 credits.
Hell yeah.
And as for fixing up your ship, this is what we would call a. So there's two things. There's like recharging and refitting. You can effectively think of it as like short and long rest, but for your ship. But they cost money. Actually, I think recharging. Yeah, I think it will cost money, but it's mainly long rests that matter. The refitting. So when you have a period of downtime, you can go ahead and fix up your ship for your size ship. 8 hours, 12 hours should be plenty. Something along that range. Actually, sorry, you have a medium class? It's like 1 day. Sorry, that's the right amount. Usually it's 1 full day, and you should be good. So it's based off your missing hull points and your levels of you have no levels of system damage. The base amount is that. Your ship mod is 2x. This is going to be... Sorry, I'll just do some quick math on the side. You guys are welcome to still keep discussing and planning. I just need to check how much all this costs for you.
Does anyone have any ship mods that they would like to propose to the group?
Where were the ship mods at? Was there like a...
In that spreadsheet, the dark matter details.
Yeah, there's like
should get a tab.
There's like a big list in case you guys are ever interested. I will also come up with like immediately available modifications because you still effectively need the parts and the pieces. So if there's anything from the ship mod list that's interesting, you can let me know, and or in character we can be like, does your character put in a order and try and find somebody who can fulfill it? But sometimes there might be stuff readily available. For now, in terms of fixing stuff up, it will cost you guys, for the damage you've taken,
see.
so you've taken 12 points of damage, that's 15. Sorry, 10. 12 plus 50. You guys are going to... It's going to cost you 340 credits to fully fix up your ship.
Oh, easy.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and mark. I gotta make you guys a. Let me do it now, real quick. Let's add a handout, and let's bring back our good friend, Party Loot. And I will add nicer imagery.
I wanted to.
Mhm.
Sorry, I wanted to ask hypothetically if we did, instead of, like, if we just bought the parts to fix up our ship and Val just did it over like a day or two, how much money would that save us from party funds?
I would knock off. I could knock off. I'd say, because you're taking out the whole labor cost piece, I'd knock off like 50% of the cost. But you'd have to make a check to succeed, or else the materials are wasted.
Heard. And how much was the original cost again? I'm sorry.
340 credits.
Oh, never mind.
Hey, I mean, it's a good point, right? You might in the future want to make like maybe partial fixes yourself, get the rest of it done. But yeah, you guys dropped 340 credits. Let me mark that off.
How, like, in addition to that, then, like, follow-up question, how much would it be to just have, like, some spare parts on the ship? Like, just for parts, no labor, we're just keeping it on hand.
I can look into doing the math on that, but effectively, I would just multiply. It's like based off hit points and system damage. So I would treat it as like you have X amount of hit points that you can free fix, right? Now, I will also add, you guys also have, there are hit dice to ships. So that also sort of represents the materials that you guys generally carry. Because that's part of the retrofitting, is getting, or refitting, is getting more materials. So your ship and hit ship dice, hull dice, and shield dice come back. So while you're traveling, you do get access to that patch action, the regenerate shields action. So those are all things you get access to like fix stuff up on the fly. And that cost, those guys are baked into the cost here. So,
Okay.
speaking of, so you guys are down to 2,660 gold. Oh, sorry, credits. But that brings you up to 38 hit points, 43 shield points, and all 5 shield dice up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So you got everything on the shield dice, everything on the hull dice. Let me see if there's anything else. And I will say, if you guys are willing to drop another, we'll say, 60 credits, you can also get the little bits of your weapons that were damaged fixed up as well.
That might be a great idea.
I do think that would be very lovely.
Okay, I'll go ahead and fix these guys up.
So we had 340 for ship stuff, and then we just added on how much there?
Another 60, so that brings you guys down to an even 2,600.
Okay.
And I have added a thing into the handout section. I'll also add it to Discord channel after.
Sick. I was trying to track it myself over here, but awesome.
And everyone should be able to edit. If you can't, let me know. But you watch, day passes by, folks are working away here on the Star Docks. You see Letty, the kind of older, like, orc kind of engineer, head engineer, take a look. You can fix him up. It'll just take a little bit of time, but I think it'll be all good when we're done here. So, let me know if there's anything else you need. But, kind of looking around, there's
How
not
much?
a whole lot.
How much would it be to get a scanner installed?
Great question. Let's see. A scanner. Is this... oh, I don't think I copied this down. This is from the actual webpage, right?
Yes. It's a grade 1 operation modification.
Let's go ahead and pull this up. Scanner.
Scanner Mach 1.
Aqua operation. Is a operational upgrade. It is going to be I think it's just 1,000 credits.
Would everyone be okay with this ship having blind sight up to 1,000 feet? And be proficiently equipped for probe and scan checks?
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty cool.
Okay, great. And then the next thing I want to add when we can in the future is a stealth device. That's my next vote for a mod. But I already chose one, so I think...
Yeah, and what I'll also add is I can give you guys a list of what's readily available here. I think a scanner makes sense. So that's easy enough for you to be like, hey, I think there should be one parts here. Can we get that installed? And I'll also do the same with weapons. Because as you stop by Vigley's to pay back your debts, you know, he's got a collection of weapons laid out. And, you know, you see there are some, you know, the repeater and phasers, but there's carbines, pistols, daggers, gloves. You see even some nicer, like, rifles, like long-range ones. And I will say, because this was specifically asked for before, there is a certain thing that Wrigley has acquired in the last week for 1 merit, a psionic helm.
Yes.
Now, it is a little
How much?
pricey because of the nature of the item. 125 gold. Credits. Got it.
Easily. Easy.
Okay.
Easy. Got it. No problem.
So yeah, you get, it's like, it's almost like a helmet for merit that is like this full system of like, you can see like flows of electrical signals, but also magic, like more visible magic in this magic tech device of like arcane flows of ether and arcana running through. And it's like a full headset almost looking device.
Oh, yeah. I think at
There.
some point we could look into getting a carbonite launcher
Okay.
just as like a weapons upgrade.
Carbonite launcher, hell yeah.
Again, at some point, um,
Yeah.
or a cloaking device.
Actually, real quick, while you guys are looking at this stuff, go ahead and give me perception checks as you're watching your ship get fixed up and you're talking about what options they have here. Merritt, there's a ship on the Star Docks that looks familiar.
How does it look familiar?
It's a crimson red, asymmetrical ship. On one end, a relatively enormous high-powered cannon attached. This ship, you could have sworn about 6 days ago, was trying to accost you out in space.
Merritt eyes the ship. She wants to see if there's any like new damage on it, perhaps from a recent haul they got.
You do see a few engineers here on the docks, buffing out a few dents and scratches.
Merritt just kind of motions towards the ship, with Fallon and Val. I think I'm gonna go say hi. You wanna come?
I think Fallon's gonna remember the other day. And just no, you're good. You're good.
I don't know if it'd be a good idea for me to go to talk to them, but I mean, absolutely go right ahead. Like, I don't want to keep you from your friends. I just don't know if they'd take too kindly to my presence.
Well, that's fairly ominous, but all right.
I mean, just given what I said to them.
Yeah, that is fair. All right, I'm gonna go say hi. Hopefully, I'll be back in no time. But if not, you'll know where I am. And then Merritt takes off her psionic helm and hands it to Val. Because she just assumes Val will take care of it. Because Val is strong. She just walks
Our
over
robot
and
is so
walks over.
cute.
I'm not a robot! Not a robot.
She just says it to Val. Just our robot's so cute.
You head on over, and stopping by, you see somebody out there talking to an engineer that looks familiar. Tall, broad-shouldered, you see dark skin on a human man. It's kind of like dark black hair, and a cigarette on one end, a couple like electronic like devices attached to the back of their like hard suit. Or I guess they'd probably have like maybe a tack suit, but a bunch of devices, and they look back, pulling the cigarette out of their mouth. Oh, Merritt, finding yourself back here.
What can I say? You're hard to resist.
It's not a bad station you've got here. Not bad. Decided I'd come take a look. Maybe make this a new watering hole. Whenever the crew needs a few drinks or a break.
I happen to know that Riff is one of the best bartenders. The only bartender she never met.
He's kind of like gives you a glance. Taking up drinking. Not bad, picking up on all the good habits I taught. It's nice to see.
Trying to.
Listen, like I said, they fixed it up, but this shit's still kind of a piece of junk.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get something nicer soon. You know how it is. Gotta work your way up the ranks.
Yeah, sometimes I pull some stuff out of the ships I haul. If I find anything nice, send it over here. For price, of course.
Of course.
But I'll give
Always
you first pick.
appreciate it, Bastion. Beacon.
Kind of gives a nod.
Bastion.
Yeah, do you ask him about the events of the day before? If he's the one involved?
She's going to do it Um, not out loud, if that's possible.
Yeah.
They're going to keep exchanging pleasantries, but she's going to connect to Beacon and say, "So we got a distress signal the other day coming in from a Monarch ship."
He kind of like seems like he's just waiting.
You might want to get something to shut off enemy comms if you're gonna keep going after things like that.
No, I've got a jammer. It works. Okay. I was gonna say, SOSs aren't too bad. Sometimes, still worth stepping in. I make about as many of my hauls from transports as I do from other spacers and mercs out there. Gotta keep everybody on their toes.
I'm gonna give you our ship code,
Yeah, you can give like signals and stuff. Yeah.
just so if we cross paths again, hopefully you'll think twice about picking us up.
No worries. If I'm picking you all up, it's drink and maybe some help. Otherwise, you're on my no-hit list.
Appreciate it. And then they're like in real life conversation ends with Merritt just like wishing him the best and like going in for a hug.
Yeah. And I think as you're doing this, Merritt, you do pick up, like, that's definitely not his shit. That wasn't his raid the day before.
Okay.
Or I guess now, like, 2 days ago.
That's good to know at least. Someone else is pirating.
Yeah. Like Beacon mentioned, a lot of folks raiding on the edge of the territory. Germany seems busy or just doesn't care. But you all have another day here, Yokai. And I will call out above table. I'll go ahead and send around lists of like what kind of items, armors, that kind of stuff, what's for sale, how much it's going to cost, all that kind of jazz. For quick context, what I usually started doing is like for shopping, handling it between sessions, unless it's something very specific or very like character related. Just to help, so you guys get more time to think through like what do you want to buy or add or all that kind of jazz. But effectively, this downtime period, your characters are doing. You're going around taking a look at stuff. And about this point, it would have been like 3 days of downtime. People coming and going. You do find a interesting new set of travelers stopping by. On one morning, coming down, there's a crew of folks who are now staying at Yoka. And you say crew because a lot of them have the same gear. Kind of tack vests and suits. These visors and helmets. And you see outside a bunch of fighters parked. As you recognize, this is a fighter gang, aka a biker gang, stopping by. And a specific set of sort of like pseudo mercenaries out here. And you can tell immediately it's gotten a little bit more rowdy as you step through this morning into the town. Right, sorry, Hearth Station. But you can just go about your day if you'd like. Nothing too big of a deal. As you know, if you want to keep it low profile. But as you go through checking in on everything, taking care of downtime activities, you do get a message from Oversight. And you're able to kind of step to one of the side rooms, or I should say side booths. And Oversight comms it. Well, my favorite new contractors. I'd like to discuss a possible new venture. I've been investigating and following up on Giannis's case. Our former employee appears to have spread details beyond just the BLO. We're picking up details from some of the underground markets and competitors about firm-related information being shared out. We are trying to locate the source, but I'm letting you know that a new project will be on your horizon soon. So, sit tight, but get ready. I look forward to another stellar performance soon enough. And is there anything you guys want to say to Oversight as they're mentioning this?
You're still figuring out who else you shared information to? Like, you just know it got out, you don't know where to?
Indeed, it is an utmost importance that we track down where our firm-specific details and secrets have been spread. This is proprietary information regarding our jobs and operations. Once it's discovered, I will be sending you all out to investigate. It is important that information like this remains within the firm and within our contractors and associates.
What type of information was he sharing?
My understanding is it is chatter related to firm-specific jobs. There are competitors I am aware of who might be involved.
Well,
Indeed, involved with receiving or exchanging this information. I believe this may be a M&A related task in our horizon. Merger and
mergers and
acquisition.
But perks are it does.
Exactly.
Oh.
But there are, unfortunately, details that have spread out, and multiple departments within the firm are now involved. Corexar is busy with additional tasks, and you all are the most familiar, so I am prepared to have you all be representatives of our department and investigate. But yeah, effectively, you guys are getting the idea, like, whenever Oversight figures out where the information spread to, that they're going to send you all after it. Again. Contractors talking to each other about jobs, not a problem. Talking to anybody else about jobs, it's a problem.
Thank you, Oversight.
Thank you all for your wonderful performance. I will talk to you all soon. And I'll say, as you guys are chilling here in downtime, seeing a little bit of a rowdy atmosphere, in Yokai Flux, thinking about what to say or do with Oversight, we can go ahead and end our session here. With that little bit of downtime, we can pick up next time, seeing whether or not Oversight figures out who Giannis was exchanging information with.
We're
Hell
in
yeah.
trouble.
I'm so scared.
Yeah.
I do want to clarify one thing, right? Giannis sharing information is bad to whoever he shared it to. Like,
Yes.
the details you guys see is not compromising because you are contractors.
Mhm.
FYI. So,
I'm not scared about the firm coming after us because of this. I'm scared about what we're gonna have to do next.
Mm-hmm.